So now you see why I didn't want you to step on the story. So as best as I can understand, and this is again without trying to put too much like of my bias or my opinion on it, as best as I can understand, there was a miscommunication between the judges.
I was on a holiday in Bali. It's a great way to start a sentence.
Oh my God, that really
I was in Bali. It's fucking great. But this
Bali,
part wasn't great. I was in like on one of the islands, and to come back, the sea was choppy, so we couldn't use the 1.5 hour speedboat. We had to get on this fucking massive tanker that takes oil across the sea. Right? So it takes 8 hours. Okay. And it was very choppy.
Very choppy.
Hence why we couldn't take the speedboat. It was so choppy.
Shitty
that
boat.
we were on this choppy shitty boat, and it was like, I shit you not.
Keep speaking into the mic because we might as well start the pod with
it. It was going like this. Like, I shit you not.
But yeah, I'll be involved too.
Like I was looking out the window, and as I was looking out the window to like try and see the sea, I wouldn't see the sea. I would just see the sky, and then I would hear, and then I would like see water flash up. Anyway, I'm at the front. There's loads of everyone's suitcases at the front, and the fucking suitcases are just fucking rolling around, like hitting me in the knees. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like holding it all, and I'm looking around like, whose fucking suitcases are these? I'm not the suitcase guy. I just want to sit down, bro. What's going on? And then it ends. We get to the end of our thing, and I'm like pissed off because I've been trying to stop these suitcases from going everywhere. Italian family come up and they're like, scusi. And then they grab their suitcase. I'm like, yeah, fucking scusi.
I'll give you fucking scusi in a minute.
Fucking scusi. So that's where I got scusi from.
So they were being very formal, is what you're saying.
But
they should have said scusa to me.
Yeah, it started about 20 minutes ago, but yeah.
Really? Yeah. Welcome to the chatty room.
We don't care. Well, no, I care, but she doesn't care about the.
Yeah, I got that.
I was invested in the story. Actually.
20 minutes when I came into the room.
Tell me what I can say, what I can't say.
You can say chatty shitty room, and then
you've said it twice now. So you can only say it 3 more times.
No. We can start it. I didn't know that video was started.
He told you it started, and you said, "Welcome to the chatty shitty room." So that's a lie.
True. She did know.
You did know.
But you can cut it, so like it looks like they didn't start it.
No, that's not how it works. Okay.
We have to talk to the lawyers.
You've got 3 more.
Can I introduce the lawyer?
Yeah, you introduce everyone. Introduce the podcast. Introduce everybody. Go on.
Yeah.
So this podcast is made for the people who run every day.
You have to explain that, otherwise nobody knows what you mean. Just people running for the bus like it's for me.
So I don't know when people actually they have time to watch 2 hours of podcast.
Yeah.
But if my only time of the day when I can watch this podcast is when I run in the gym.
Okay.
So 20 minutes per day. I can watch after a month. I can watch an episode.
So yeah, exactly. So we are the target of your fitness. Like when you can finish a whole episode, that means you're like, oh yeah, I'm sick.
If I get any result, it's just thanks to the chatty shitty room.
You heard it here first.
Capsule.
I also feel like you're struggling with this microphone.
Thank you. Okay.
Should I fix it?
Fix what? Have you never fucking chatted on a shitty room before? Come on, man.
No, because.
Because.
I think it's just gonna be easier if you say it. I'm sorry.
She's no. She's our guest. Sit where you want to sit, Solid.
I want to sit here.
Okay, fair enough. I have a feeling I'm going to get murdered this podcast. I
feel like she's been holding this in. She's like, wait until I get there.
The guy who laughs like a dying giraffe. When I get on the chatty shitty room, I'm going to fuck him up.
Translation. Probably in Chinese. He said, "Welcome to the capsule."
Yeah.
Good
he's
start.
the lawyer. Yeah. Sorry. he's
we have
the
lawyers,
lawyer.
guys.
We have. I know the lawyers.
They basically contact me saying that I saying what?
Shall I get the message?
I was just nervous.
So
I love that you took it serious.
For those of you who haven't heard Big
The
L
word.
Solid calls
Bird.
the chatty shitty room. So I decided it would be funny to message her and say, what did I say? I said, "Dear Big L Solid, please cease and desist from talking about, against, or down on the Capsule in any way, shape, or form. If we hear you calling the Capsule the chatty shitty room, our lawyers will be in contact with you. Yours sincerely, Abe from the pod. P.S. You are never welcome on the couch."
Yeah, they made it.
And apparently you thought that was actually
And then-
lawyers
yeah, basically.
contacting you.
Well, yeah, she got the message and took it super serious and was like, she messaged me like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, that's Abe. She's like, but who is Abe? I don't know. And I was like, yeah, the guy from the pod. And she's like, oh, so he's joking? And I was like, yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I
Yeah.
say even worse.
Okay, I was being nice.
What did you say?
Something bad about you. Like, come on.
Shoot her.
It was racist.
Sophia, shoot her now with the Nerf gun.
Yeah, because I didn't like you first and and a second as well. But now, now I can present you again.
Okay. Now I'm all right now. Am I okay? Or do you still not like me?
Don't look at me.
I've asked you the question, yeah.
Well, I don't know you, so I don't know if I like you.
Well, I offered you tea. I've brought you chocolate.
He did.
I offered you.
It has been a very friendly start.
I say everything no, so like it's like that you didn't do anything for me. Still.
Welcome to the Capsule, guys.
Chattiya shitterumma. Well,
Can you change the? It's more work, but can you? No, it's more work.
to do what?
Can you play the intro song for this episode, but make it more Italian? When the song's on.
I'll try.
Should I sing?
Or I'll edit.
Yeah. And then add that over the thing. Come on.
What do you want me to sing?
Something Italian.
Chattiya shitterumma. Prosciutto spaghetti.
Alla dente.
Nice. Like that?
What does it mean?
Scusa, not scusi. It's scusa.
Why does it sound like a punk rock song?
Okay.
Scusa, not a
scusi. Come on, scusa. Chatty shitty raw in Italy.
Okay, just because I don't like this one.
It's Blink 182. A Blink 182. What?
No, just because I don't like this intro. When I'm gonna have an intro with the song, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. Cool. Hi guys, welcome to the Capsule. I've had a fucking horrible day.
Ace Luke, by the way.
Oh yeah, introduce everybody. she said it like
And it's me.
she said it like as if she's the one that does the pod every week, and then we're the new ones. She's like, oh guys, in case you, my audience, listen, in case you don't know, this is Luke. But come on, introduce everybody. So this is the lawyer guy.
This
and,
is
and me.
Luke. Nothing else to.
That's it. I'm just Luke. He gets a whole story. Okay, fine. No, fine. Continue.
You know it's fine because his voice went up 8 octaves.
Yeah, that's how you know something is completely fine.
Yeah. She's Sophia.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow. Great,
Well,
thank you.
what a fucking start.
It's me. Sorry.
And it's a me.
Sorry.
Do you want to introduce yourself? What else is there to say?
Who are
About
you?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you?
So I'm Beer Solid. I'm Italian and I live in London. I'm 22 years old. And
I like long walks on the beach.
I met Luke yesterday. So now I'm the chatty shitty room.
She did not meet me yesterday.
She did it or not?
She did not meet me
proper
yesterday.
Italian.
How is our Italian accents? Are they good?
No.
Scusa.
Take that as a yes.
No.
You say
good.
something and then immediately you say
He's
it.
African.
I'm African.
I'm African.
I'm African.
Me? Where am I from?
Essex.
Essex.
No!
And she's from?
Essex.
Watford.
It's pretty
She's from?
Same thing.
Switzerland.
Nice.
Representing.
I'm on the Swedes.
French.
Is this? No, it's Swedish people. Swedish people don't feed their guests. Did you know that?
Oh, I heard about this.
The
Kieran
what?
sent
The
me.
what?
Swedish people don't feed their
I
guests.
don't know if I believe this.
No, it's 100% true,
But
bro.
I've been to Sweden
Bro.
and I've had dinner.
It's true. That's fine.
wow.
Okay, but it's
But in a
not
restaurant?
the norm. Like,
No,
it's the
at
norm
someone's
is
house.
you'll be at someone's house, and there's loads of people that
This
say
is from a Reddit thing that was
It's not
going
just
around on
Reddit.
Insta.
It's
No,
from
but this is
all
where.
of
where
yeah, it's where it
Okay.
started. But apparently, like, a guy would be chilling with his brethren in his room, and then he'd be like, "I'll be down in a bit. I'll be back in a bit," and he'd be gone like 10 minutes. And he'd be like, "What's going on?" And then he would go downstairs, and they're having breakfast, and they'll be like,
Like if you come over to your friend's house, like they would eat, but like not involve you in the eating.
What?
apparently
that's what
the
it
thing
said.
is like they don't like expectation at all. Or like
just
having people
breakfast.
expectations, and they want people to have their own independence, so they don't like we cook for. We didn't.
Do we
expect
have
you
any
to come over
Swedish
from-
listeners? If you're Swedish, can you let us know if this is true?
Yeah,
But can I
That's
say
so
something?
Always.
That
If there's ever a time to say something, it's on a podcast.
it's on the
yeah,
change.
I have 2 hours.
Yes. yeah.
That's something that I noticed when I arrived in UK as well.
That people eat without you?
Like people like even if you are guessing someone else, like people they just eat like that, they don't involve you in
See,
anything.
this is the
Really?
thing. Yeah,
I don't do
yeah.
that.
Because someone
Do I?
made a Twitter map of like basically where you could expect to get food, where you won't get food, and UK was on there, and I was like, what the fuck? That's not true. Like,
But
I
maybe it's
always
just not
invite my
us,
guests.
yeah.
But I think it's not us. I think it's like the upper class.
But I think
people.
also maybe it depends on who you are, because I feel like, let's say like a uni student or something, if you're like, you don't have a lot of money, I wouldn't expect, if like, no, but like a lot of uni students are broke. So it's like, if you went over to the house, it's like, if me and you went to hang out with Sophia, it's like, I wouldn't expect you to like,
Wait, are you saying I'm broke?
I don't know, are you? We still need to get paid for that
Maybe.
job. So, so we're both a bit broke at the moment.
I would still offer.
No, but do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but like if she's going to eat dinner, she might not have enough money to have a cook for 3 people.
Yeah. No,
Whereas
no,
it's a
I
bit
get
different if I have people
No,
over.
but you buy pasta like sauce. It's
Yeah,
not
sure,
that
there's a
deep,
way to
like-
But
do
it's like people with parents and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I was having this conversation with my brethren yesterday and today, funny enough. And I
That's
was
a long
like, do you know
conversation.
what pisses me off? And I was like, I mostly found it when I went round like my white brethren's house, is that when they would offer to make me a cup of tea, I'd be like, yes, please, I'd love a cup of tea. Not you.
Yeah.
You've not done this.
Okay.
But they would make the cup of tea and then they would give me the small mug and they would have the big
Oh,
mug.
bro.
And I would sit there and be like, I wouldn't say anything, but it's always like a little microaggression in my head where I'm like, well, no, I get the fucking big mug. I'm your guest.
You know what? To add to
Yeah?
that
Go on.
is when like you go to someone's house and then, especially when you're younger and you're a bit less like confident to just say, and it's like their parents' house. You know, you're not just going to your friend's house, but they're like, you're like, oh, I'm so thirsty. Like you just got there, you got on the bus, you took along. You're like, I'm so thirsty. Can I have a glass of water? And they're like, yeah, no problem. And it's always like English people that do this, and it's like they pour you know, them glasses that like at Nando's when you have the free water, like them little ones, and they just pour you water and then give you that, and I'm like, thanks. like give me a real fucking glass of water. Or when they're like, have you ever been to someone's house when you're like,
Don't say it.
what?
Oh, you might say the thing.
No,
that I'm
no, but
thinking if you
when
say
they're
it.
like, you're like, oh, I'm starving. Like, make sure we order dinner or something. No, don't order. I'll cook.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, but I'm really hungry. Yeah, don't worry. I got you. And then they make you like a really small portion, and then you're like, but they don't say how much they're making, and they just bring you a small portion, and you're like, oh, I was gonna order so much food, and now like this is not enough. But what am I? And there's no more left because you only made this much. So am I supposed to eat what you made me and still order, or am I supposed to say to you, this is inadequate? Make more food. Like, it's just such an awkward situation.
I made my mate some codfish finger sandwich today because I was helping him with the tape.
Okay.
And I brought him the plate. It was 2 sandwiches on there,
Yeah.
big amount. And he was like, oh, so half of this is yours, right? And I went, no, they're both for you. That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah,
That's how you're
I
supposed to do it. Be
always try and
gracious
make more food than we would need because A, you could just eat it the next day for leftovers if people don't want it. And it's better for there to be more and for people to go, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
For me, like in a hospitality way, rather than there be less and you think you've nailed it, but then inside they're like, I'm still
Have
hungry.
you found this with people from the UK not offering food?
Not really.
How many
No,
people?
I feel like it's fine.
It's
Yeah.
Switzerland.
It's the
Switzerland's a
breakers that
pretty-
you hang out with. That's what it is.
Swiss people are weird.
No, it's just the cultural difference. I mean, if you meet my grandma,
Yeah.
you will gain 10 kilos.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine.
And here is different. Like even like a chewing gum. Like for example, right in Italy, if I have if I want to eat the chewing gum, okay, before to eat it, I first offer you want a chewing gum and then I eat it. You know, here. Like they eat it, that's it. They don't even say it.
She's just like looking at you like, like just like,
Yeah, it's not something that you have to do, but it's
like polite.
That's
yeah.
fucking so shit.
I always do
man.
that.
Bro, I always do that too.
And
No.
why you say first to him and not?
Oh, here we go.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Would you like a chewing gum?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Did you actually want a chewing gum, or is this all a bit?
I don't want a chewing gum. I just chewing gum in my pocket. There you go.
This is education. It's like
But what if
education,
you
not
offer a chewing gum and then you don't eat it?
Yeah, what does that
And
mean?
what does that mean? That's the opposite.
Pretty
That's
much
too
what-
hospitable.
That's just saying you got stinky breath.
Ooh.
I saw the realization. She's like, wait, is that me?
He's not eating the chewing gum. Why not?
Why?
What? Why what? Why what?
Why what?
Why you don't have the chewing gum?
Because I want some of this first. I'll put chewing gum in my mouth.
He just did it for the joke.
lols.
For the lols.
The other thing I hate is, bruv, if any of you do this, or if any of your parents do this,
Do what?
stop.
What?
I don't know.
Don't say to me, would you like some juice? And then when I say, oh, what juice do you have? You say, orange juice. And then I go, yes, please. And then you give me Robinson's squash. Hey, man.
That's true.
Squash isn't juice.
That's true. I'll give him that.
What's the Robinson squash?
I have
Do you know
no
what's? You don't know what squash is?
Cordial?
Like you say
clue. Oh,
cordial.
squash. Is that the thing you put?
You mix with water. Oh, there's a
Yeah.
different name for it in Switzerland.
Yeah, it's like syrup in
Oh
Switzerland.
yeah, they call it syrup. Yeah. Somebody said that to me. Like
It's
I had some
called-
water, and they're
so,
like,
like, it's
"Do you want
squash.
syrup?" And I was like,
Because I
"No."
thought it just didn't exist here. And
Yeah,
then-
it's squash.
Okay.
But it's a little bit different than I had in Switzerland, but
Yeah.
same. You want to know a hilarious story about squash?
Wait, before we continue.
Yeah, it's probably not that hilarious.
See, knows what we're talking about. Have you ever had, like, do you guys have a drink in Italy where you pour like a little bit and then you fill it up with water?
Really? No, come on.
What's it called?
Horrible stuff.
Horrible stuff.
Like I don't know.
Is it called squash? Was it
You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
the sugary thing, and you
Oh
mix
my
it with
God.
water.
So if you guys went
No,
around
we don't
someone's
do
house,
this bullshit. Like, I
She's like, in Italy, we go outside, we take an orange from the tree, we squeeze in your glass.
it's organic. Like, what's
why would you do this?
But you know,
Like
you
they
know
just
what?
have a window here, and it's like, do you want some juice? Like, yeah, okay, hold on one sec.
From the window of my room, there is the
The most Italian thing ever.
Come on,
She just finishes her spaghetti, and then she's like,
no, my
I'm a stereotyper.
bird flies in and sings her a song. Even a Disney World.
It's true because I saw lots of people at the beginning when I moved here that they were like drinking Coke and they were putting water, and I was like, oh, that's
Coke
like,
with water.
that's like oh
No,
my
that's
God.
psychopath behavior.
It's breakers, man. It's these breakers.
Coke
No,
with water.
It was Watford.
Coke with water. No. Are you sure it was vodka and Coke? You're like, look, they're drinking water and Coke. And they're acting super weird
But
after.
anything is disgusting. Like if you put
That's
water,
disgusting. Yeah, no, it's gross.
There is no flavor anymore.
So if I said to you, would you like some orange juice, and you said yes, please, and then I gave you this syrup thing, what would be your first thought?
She would have killed you.
So I don't get why people do it.
I had a friend that I went to dance college with, and he was American, but he lived in I think his dad was in the army or something. So he lived in loads of different places. He had spent a lot of time in Germany,
Yeah.
on like an American army base in Germany. He grew up, so then he came to UK and did the dance college anyway. And then he did at the dance college. And then, so one day he came in and he was just like, he's always super happy and cheerful, super nice guy. And then he's like drinking from this bottle. He's like, yeah, so blah, blah. And we're just chatting. And he's like, yeah, so blah, blah, just like having a great day. And he's like, yo, by the way, this drink is like crazy strong. Like, I don't know what it is, and he's like just drinking away, but he's like, it's crazy strong. I don't even know what it is. And then I was like, and then I looked at it and I was like, let me tell you something. And then I was like, bro, I was like, you're supposed to mix this with water. Like, he was drinking like just the squash by itself. And he was like, that makes sense. But yeah, I laughed a lot. Anyway, so all of that is what you came here for.
Random thoughts.
So a lot of dance things we've gotten through
Yeah.
so far,
Yes.
guys.
We needed to have a fun start, because if I had started this podcast in the mood that I was in setting this podcast up, it would have been a very different affair. Sophia, how was your audition?
Oh my god.
Come on, tell us about it.
So for those who don't know, I did the Message in a Bottle audition, the ZooNation production, based on Sting music, like The Police, blah, blah, blah. And they had like a first round that was online, so we had to send videos through, blah, 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 from like choreos and freestyles and whatever. I mean, audition, basically. And I got through to the live audition, so I had it today, and it was intense. I feel like it was way more contemporary based than I thought.
Because you didn't read the application, or? No, I'm joking. Oh shit! I shouldn't have given her a gun. Okay, yeah, I deserve that one. Go.
And no, but I knew it was contemporary based, but I thought I would get away with. Thank you.
Yeah,
I would
helping her
get
Go. Fuck, there's an alliance.
I
I'll
would
call
get
the
away
lawyers
with
on
it.
you. Yeah, go.
But I didn't. And it was actually complicated, but it was a good experience, and I learned a lot. And from all the people that were there, like they were all really trained in contemporary, and I wasn't. So I
So
was
the fact that what did you show them for your audition? What did you do for your audition before that?
The online
so
thing.
there was 2 routines to learn. One with like the main group, it's like kind of like jazzy,
You're talking about the online part
contemporary.
of the audition. Yeah.
It's like that. There was one choreo that was like kind of jazzy, and one part that was breaking.
Okay.
So
You learned it from a video?
Yeah, they filmed themselves, and then you had to learn it and like record yourself, and then give some freestyles. So one in your strong in style. So for me, it's popping, and then I mean, I guess, and then
No, don't just say it confidently. You had it, and then you went backwards. I was like, oh, good. Leave it. Don't say anything. I was like, you know, you're playing Jenga and you pull the thing, and you're like, everyone holds their breath. I was like, she said something confidently. Oh no, don't say anything. All right, go.
So popping is my strong in style.
Yes, it is.
And then I did also some hip hop and some like fusion. I don't know, like just
Dancehall.
it's not no, like contemporary fusion, but not really contemporary.
Like dance.
Anyway, whatever. I was just feeling the music, and I just like, oh, that was cool, and I just posted it, and that's it.
Okay.
Went through. And I feel like today was just like a lot of different tasks. Like,
How long was the whole thing?
so my audition was 2 hours,
Okay.
but I feel like they did so like it lasted like it felt like it lasted way longer.
Just because it was hard work, or?
Yeah, and I feel like I was really uncomfortable because everyone was like super like strong in contemporary, and because it was very heavily like contemporary based, I was just like, I really look like trash right now, but I'll just keep going. And like there's some bits I got really well. Like there was some part where like freestyle but with a task, like they were giving you like a intention. I was like, okay, I can do that, that's fine.
I struggle with
And
that
then
shit.
they were like, okay, we're gonna do like some beats where you have to like just go across the floor with contemporary, and I was just like, okay, that's not we're not getting there yet.
I feel it, man.
But yeah, and it was like proper like turns and jumps and rolls and stuff, so it was really
Sick.
Really
Leave it
intense.
tell you about when he accidentally went into a contemporary audition. No. I don't think he like accident. I think like they saw him dance. And the thing is with Lee is like he's got such a great like
Frame.
body pause for that type of thing.
Yeah.
So like you could easily teach Lee contemporary if he wanted to learn it. I think like he's got great facilities for that. But like I think he went to an audition like thinking it was going to be like, because I think maybe they had seen his. He would tell the story better, but I think maybe they'd seen his videos. So when he got invited, I think he was thinking it was going to be his sort of thing, and they were thinking, "Oh, we can work with that." So then I think like he did the audition, and it was like really contemporary. And I think like halfway, or maybe even less in the audition, he just went. He was like, "I think I shouldn't be here, and I'm gonna go."
Literally today, after 10 minutes, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
maybe I should leave. Maybe I should just
But you stuck
no,
it
but
out.
yeah, well done for sticking
Well
it out.
done.
it was intense, but
Proud of you.
yeah, thank you. I'm happy. It was like my first like real audition, also like in the UK. I've never done any audition in Switzerland, so it was my first audition, and it was like a big one. So I'm not disappointed.
See how she said it was her first real audition. She auditioned for me about 2 weeks ago.
No, but this is a uni audition.
No,
it's
no,
not the
okay, it's
same.
cool.
Like,
It's for a real character. so,
Yeah.
Continue.
bro.
Are you paying her? Are you paying her? So your first real audition.
Listen, when your career takes me to Australia and the US, we talk about it.
Yeah.
Damn it, I know it's coming.
Confidence
I was
is
trying to
fucking
formulate
banging.
one.
She's
Yeah.
coming at you today.
Bro, it's so funny her evolution, man. Like I don't know if you can see it on the pods that she's been on, but like when I first met her, she was so like, she'd be if this was her at the beginning, she'd be sitting there like, hi, so yeah, I would really like to say that. And now she's like, fucking, yeah, so basically, yeah, if you had a real audition, I'll come to it. Like, all right, anyway.
Shit.
With the gun.
Yeah.
Hit him again.
No. That's
I
cool.
feel that. I did there was some, I know how to pod.
I know.
There was some little contemporary thing that this first time Carrie Ann's going to hear this, so sorry, Carrie Ann. But there was a little contemporary thing that she wanted us to do, a move that she wanted us to do when we put this chair up in Antigone. Chair, whatever. We put something up and you're supposed to like go on all fours to like go across the floor. And one of the shows I just went.
Oh my God.
I'm not doing that move.
I was so tired. I didn't get it.
I love that. It's so funny. Like I feel like every time, like in a rehearsal or audition, like I always do things more full out than I actually do them on stage. Yeah. I just do the thing full out. And the choreographer's like, yeah, this looks good. And I'm just going to do it the way I've been doing it. I'm just doing this for you to shut you up.
When it's like on your 24th show and no one important is in the crowd, like no one from the show is watching. You're like, bro, they're probably even watching me right now, bro.
Or do you know what I love sometimes? I've done this sometimes, like where you're doing something and they're like really trying to get a specific, they're like, no, but you have to do it like with the intensity of like, imagine like a giraffe on the savannah, right? But like, imagine the intensity of that, but mixed with like a guy grocery shopping, you know? Like, and they're just like, you know, when they're so specific about the shit. Yeah. And then you're like, you do it. And then the next time you try to do what they're saying and you try to do it and you're like, all right, this time I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to think, I'm just going to fucking do nothing. And then you do it and they're like, you've got it. You've really, that's it. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to keep doing it the way I've been doing it. Fucking hate that.
Oh, fuck.
Anything else on that front? Percentage of chance that you got the job.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Oh no, I definitely definitely don't have it. It was fun. I feel like I just like, it also made me realize, well, first off, I was really not as stressed as I thought I would be. Is that English?
Yeah.
And like I knew how to calm myself down, or even like when like there's a bit like we're going across the floor and I completely like fucked up, like we were supposed to do like a roll and I just looked at the floor and I was like no, and I just started walking.
I feel it.
No, but honestly, I looked
Big
at
Abe energy.
like, no.
Yes, I love that.
I know that like that would have really thrown me like off before, but now I just like, okay, like I can't do that, like I'll just move on. And
what do you think, like why do you think it didn't throw you now and it would have before? Like what
Good question.
what am I trying to say? Like what
what's changed that now that you're in that situation? That
he says with the pod on his shoulder.
Now that you're in that scenario, that situation, what do you
I feel like it's
what do you think, Scapula?
Oh my God.
I needed cheering up, please. Go on.
Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like, you know, it's so stupid, but I feel like the 100-day challenge really helps me. Like it's actually crazy.
Jen said the same.
Because now I'm like almost 70 days in, and like my confidence is like, I mean, it's not regular based, but okay, I'm trying.
Yeah. Nah, fuck. Build it again.
But yeah, I feel like it's really helped me confidence wise, and also like with uni and the past 2 years I've been here, like I'm realizing what I'm strong in, what I'm not strong in, what I need to work on. And I know there's some stuff I did today that was like, I'm doing this better than the majority of people in this room. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll just work on whatever I need to work on. And obviously, like if you ask me to do a style that I don't really train, that I just trained in like uni for like a grade, like obviously I'm not gonna
be a professional at it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's literally going for something that I didn't know anything about, and I was just like, I'll just try it.
It's big grown-up energy, man.
Yep.
And you impress them enough for them to take you to the recall stages, you know.
Yeah.
In person.
Yeah, and it's definitely like that is. I think also with the 100-day challenge and with your like popping and stuff, it's like once you develop certain skills and feel confident in those skills, you don't feel as insecure about the stuff that you can't do, because you're like, you know, it's like, I don't know, me. Yeah. Going to do, what can I not do very well? It's not much. No, but yeah, like not even breaking, but like no, but like something outside of dance I'm talking about, right? And it's like if I'm in a conversation or something I don't really know, but I'm like, yeah, but in my world or in my workplace.
Driving.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
No, we'll get to this afterwards. Say your point, and then I want to hear this, because he tells me so many stories about people taking the piss out of his driving and that he's a good driver.
No,
You've been in the, you drive like me, so don't start.
I don't drive like you, first of all. You don't indicate when you're on roundabouts, so...
I indicate.
What's a bit of
He doesn't
drive?
indicate.
What's your day without the element of surprise? Come on. Keeping people on their toes. I'm making the streets safer.
Yeah, right.
carry
So
on.
And people less.
anyway, yeah. So I think once you develop like certain things, it's like you're not so worried about the things that you can't do because you're like, well, I am good at stuff, and I've proved that to myself. I'm just in an area, like you said, like I'm in an area where this is not my thing and it's something new to me. But I think that helps you to get out of your comfort zone because if you feel insecure about everything you do, it's like. It's really hard to like try stuff because you're like, oh, I'm shit at this. I'm gonna be shit trying this new thing. And you're like, if you're like, right, you're good at videography, you're getting good at photography already, you're good at popping, you're good at choreo. So then you're like, okay, let me do a contemporary edition. Oh, I didn't go so well. But you're like, well, I've proved to myself about 4 or 5 times that I can get good at something.
Yeah.
So you in your head, you're like, well, if I want to get good at contemporary, I probably could. I just haven't yet. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And I know like this is a really big job. It's like a 1-year world tour. Like it's not like just like performing in the UK or whatever. It's
That's
like,
a big fucking audition,
It's a
man.
massive audition.
Yeah.
It's really like, yeah.
Well done.
And they were doing they were also doing like London and Paris. So it's not only London. So it's
London
really,
and Paris, you said that's so French.
And the Paris.
They're doing London and Paris. Like you just went into that fucking Frenchness. That's
Leaned
it,
into
like,
that R.
Is they're doing, by the way, I don't know, hold on.
Just pulls out a baguette. And
They're doing London
Paris.
and Paris.
Like suddenly she's in black and white.
Fucking.
An accordion in the back.
Oh. No. Well done.
I might have to cut this part. It's weird that we clapped and didn't actually say anything in that.
Tell me about Luke's shit driving.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
the amount of times I almost died in this car.
Really?
Fucking
Interesting.
audacity. Wait, put it out of the shot.
Yeah, I got you.
What do you mean died? When?
Why? Explain. What
Okay,
happened?
no, there was one small moment in Manchester, but it was not my fault.
Who was in the car?
Everyone.
Who's everyone?
Camilla, Martina, Lucia, and Solid.
So there are 5 people that you can ask.
4 people.
And
4 people.
And the worst part is that, like, if something happened, you try to keep like yourself under
calm.
control.
Yeah.
And he goes, woo!
So
I was more scared
Right.
about him rather than what was happening in the situation. He was, woo!
what happened? What happened?
What are you talking about? Which situation are you talking about?
When we
Which
were going
situation?
to the second location.
Yeah, when it was raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's just because he was being like, it was fine. I controlled the situation. No, there was basically there was like a traffic like this in one lane, and then there was they have the other lane to turn right. So like this lane was carrying on, this lane was here, and then it went a little bit, and it went out. Thing is a dual carriageway. No, not even a dual carriageway, just like a normal road. So I'm driving behind this guy. He like slowed down super sharp, and then I saw that there was a queue. So I just indicated, no one behind me, indicated and went into the next lane. And then as I'm going, the guy in front of him, I swear to God, I was looking at his car. So as he started indicating, he pulled it into the other lane.
Without looking.
So he didn't indicate, look, wait, and then come out. He indicated and turned at the same time. So I'm like here, like driving, and obviously he must have thought that the lane was clear because I had just pulled into the lane. But I 100% pulled in before him, and he just pulled out. So I like slammed on the brakes. Obviously it's raining, so
Skidded.
it took a while to slow down. But then basically he kind of, which is the dumbest thing to do, he just stopped. Like, so he's across the lane like this. He didn't pull out and carry on, and he didn't go back or whatever. He just stopped. So I slammed on the brakes, went slow, and then I just at the last second kind of went around him and carried on. But it was fine. Don't make that face.
No, I'm just saying.
But but it was very close to like, if I didn't have good reactions, I could have hit him.
So it wasn't your fault. It was someone else's
100%.
fault.
If that was an accident, I don't. If I had hit him, it wouldn't have been even in the back of the car. It would have been at the front side because he was like 2 wheels into the next lane. So this really wasn't my fault.
Okay.
Was I doing the speed limit? Maybe not, but that's not the point.
Do we want to talk about the ride?
The ride?
Yeah.
Which ride?
The riding.
Riding?
The one that we were talking about yesterday.
The racing?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. About the racing.
The racing.
Racing?
And
I don't know.
Did you race someone?
Wait, yeah. Okay, go on.
No.
Because yeah.
No, because of what?
Has he raced someone in your car as well?
Wait,
in your
no,
car,
but
yeah.
like I have some messages proof, like yeah.
Oh,
What
fuck
happened
yeah.
with the racing? What happened with the racing? What happened with
it's
what
true
happened with the
then.
riding?
I'm missing. When did I?
It's
Wait, yeah, okay, this is funny. I just remember that I sent you that.
okay, so
Yeah, I have some
wait, let's
messages.
search for it. Last Friday, was it last Friday?
Where were we?
We went to do a jam.
At Pirate. We went, with
and then
Lemzo and
coming
Estelle.
back, Luke dropped me and Kelly at the station. But first time we were in the car and he was like,
Oh yeah, it
raging
was just
because some,
because
okay,
you-
because some like 14 years old were like doing stupid stuff on their moped, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then he was trying to race them.
No, I
And
was not
then-
trying.
Yes, you did.
I went.
I need to
I
find it.
I
I need to
overtook
find it.
them.
I'm
There's
gonna
a
find
difference.
it. I'm gonna find it.
And she made me take 4 wrong turns in a row or something.
Racing people
I led
with
us
the
to
bike.
the right place. Okay, I'm gonna find it.
With the bike.
I literally
Wait.
have the proof somewhere here on my phone.
It's not.
Stop racing people in a car that can kill people.
I didn't.
I'm not gonna find it.
She's not gonna find it.
So did he race with you in the car?
No, not with it. I'd never do it with people in the car. No, Sophia, come on, Sophia. I'm pretty good with you in the car. I just tell you about stuff that I do when there's no one in the car.
The only thing you do drive a bit heavy, but I know you're in control, so I don't say anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that you do that pees me off is you don't indicate a lot.
That's true. I accept. But I mostly don't indicate when there's I think there's no, like if there's no one behind me or something, I'm like, who am I indicating
Indicate.
for?
There have been times where there have been people on the road and you haven't indicated, and I've been
Yeah,
like,
but what defines having someone on the road, you know?
Yes, you said I just lost a race. wait. I'm gonna put this.
Oh, for fuck! I can just screenshot it. What sort of technology is this? I'm gonna hold my phone to the camera. Just
in focus.
yeah. Can you check that it's in focus now? You would. Can you teach Sophia?
Yeah.
Do we look good?
How to Dougie.
Teach me how to Dougie.
Sophia just tripped over the mic stand.
Or did she do contemporary?
She did contemporary over the mic stand.
Sorry. Everything else is broken. Might as well. I did lose a race. I did. That's true.
So I can also ask Camilla, Martina, and Lucia
Ask them if Camilla was in the front. I
if
think.
it was your fault or the other person's fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would be pretty confident at that was not.
You
my
weren't
fault.
doing the speed limit though.
No,
You were driving above the
I'm
speed.
exaggerating. I think I was driving a little fast, but I was still under the speed limit.
Okay.
I just accelerated into the other lane, and then I went round again.
Okay.
But I think because what she's saying is because I didn't go like I was just like, oh fucking asshole, and then I carried on singing to the
is
song.
when you're in the-
That's hard, boy.
This is true.
That's the thing, because it can happen, of course, like someone like
Yeah.
coming your way. But okay, I was on the phone. Okay,
Yeah.
Even if something happened, I don't feel disturbed.
Yeah.
When something happened.
Yeah,
I'm just on the phone. That time I was disturbed. I was like, oh come on. I was like why it was screaming that, like something was happening.
Yeah.
It was pretty like.
How would you have wanted him to respond to that situation? Was the fact that he went, oh, whatever, and started singing, did that piss you off even more? You're like, Luke, you just almost fucking crashed the car.
Yeah,
Or you're like,
I think that was
he's cool.
more.
Yeah. Something was happening and it was not taking it that.
Yeah, I think this is people
Interesting.
think that this is legit though, and we should move off this at some point because
Yeah.
it's not.
We need to talk about dancing.
driving.
Yeah.
And oh boy, do we have stuff to tell you. Yeah, I think people think that I'm not paying attention because I'm like singing or whatever, but I always like pay attention. I have my eyes on the road and stuff. I'm not like the type of driver that, because I know people like this. I'm not the type of driver that will be like here and then like kind of like, yeah, so blah, 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 just like looking at you or like looking around. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like fucking pay attention. Like I'm seeing everything that's going on, but
If you didn't, you would have crashed into that car.
yeah, like I there's legit like that. I know people that would have crashed that car, but I think this is the thing about the way I drive is like I'm aware of what I'm doing, so I'm 100% focused on doing it. You have to admit, like I'm pretty good reaction wise. I'm pretty good with like navigation.
You are until you're not. But I hear
Of course,
you.
of course.
But I think there is something to say just quickly, and then we'll get off it. Where when something like that happens, like I do go, oh, hey, and then I just like carry on. And I feel like that's better. If I'm a passenger, I want to know that my driver isn't scared at what just happened. Because if they're like chill, then I'm like, okay, they've got it under control. They know that they almost fucked up there. But if I was driving and that almost happened and I was like, oh my fucking God, sorry guys. Fuck, that was so fucking scary. I'd be a bit like, I'm not sure if I want you driving me.
I think the worst type of driver is like underconfident drivers.
Yeah.
Like if you're, especially in like central, like people always ask me like, how is it driving in London and stuff? And I'm like, you have to be confident because it's like with everyone, with all the times when it's like traffic and loads of stuff and everyone's maneuvering around, you can't be one of those drivers that like goes and stops or like a little bit goes or turns and then turns back. It's like, if you're changing lanes, change. If you're like going around someone, like it's fine, but just go. Like I'm the same, like when I'm driving and someone does it to me, it's like, if you need to like cut out of your lane into my lane because there's a roadworks or whatever the shit that London provides, it's like fine, but get on with it. Don't just like half go out and then be like, do you mind if I can? Because that's when you're going to crash because someone's going to like come around and not see you. It's like, just go and get on with it and then say sorry afterwards or whatever. But
can you drive?
Not in the UK.
Not in the UK, but you can drive. Can you drive?
Yeah, not in the UK.
Okay, cool.
Switzerland counts because it's like you have to like navigate to not fall off the side of a fucking mountain. So so that's I'm saying that's why you could be a good driver.
Yeah, I'm a good driver.
So you want to hear about this weekend?
Yeah, what happened this weekend? There was a lot of dance stuff, people posting stuff on the Instagram. Solid made me like a video before we started doing this.
And
she was dancing and follow her Instagram.
My Instagram is bigger Solid.
Yeah. What happened?
So there was an event in Manchester.
Okay. Yeah, what the fuck? All of a sudden I saw Green Tech was here and I was like, when did this happen? And he was wearing fucking sunglasses that looks like he was on a mountain going on a snowboard. Why was he dressed like he was snowboarding?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's bopping, man.
That is one thing I can't speak on. Of all the things you could have asked me, that is the one thing I don't know. So there was an event in Manchester by Rotation Dance Exchange is the company, I guess.
It's my favourite company.
Why is your favourite company?
Rotation Dance Exchange.
What does it mean?
Why? Because
what does it mean?
Because Rotation Dance because they rotate
the dance exchange.
The dance exchange, like when the exchange happens, they rotate the dance. Yeah.
So yeah, as far as I know, they've run a few kind of like smaller events before. I don't know that they've run something as big as this before.
Okay. Grassroots, stepping out of their comfort zone.
They did a couple of stuff with like Seven Smokes and like Lewis has been to a few. We've reposted some of the rounds from those. They usually do like some Seven Smokes and breaking events, stuff such as that.
Okay.
This one was advertised. I found it not too badly advertised, but then again, I'm making it like the point of mine to look out for events and share them. So we maybe are.
Was it on the calendar?
It was on our calendar.
It was on the calendar.
Well done, guys.
Everything's on the calendar.
Let's go.
Jeez, tell them.
She's confident. She's confident. Yeah. So, but a few people were like, didn't know about it or didn't hear about it, especially considering, like, let's say, like having Green Tech, Marvel, stuff like that, and the amount of categories and the fact that it was a 2-day event. There were a few people that said that they didn't hear about it or they heard about it last minute or whatever.
Was there cash prizes?
Yeah, there was. So I don't know. Oh, my phone's charging. There was, I think it's like £2,000 worth of prize, like split between that. That's right. I'll speculate. If you have a problem with my speculation, check the disclaimer at the beginning of the pod. But yeah, it said something like £2,000 prize split between the categories.
How many categories?
Quite a few.
Okay.
We can start
you
there.
win £10.
Ding, ding, ding. anytime you guess something that
could have happened. Yes. That's what happened.
Ding ding ding. So great segue. Thank you, Abe, for asking how many categories there were. Now, my first answer is, of course, too many.
Okay.
If I had to put a number in it, I would say too many. So yeah, there was break-in beginner, All Stars 7 to Smoke, All Stars Cruise, Pop-in 2-on-2, Beat Girl Battle. Is that everything?
Was it contemporary?
Experimental.
And live and experimental.
So 7 categories.
I
Wait,
think
but there's beginner and professional
in break-in.
Okay. Yeah.
Not in everything, just in breaking.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was kids. So all styles kids. So 8 maybe categories.
And what time
And
did the
7
event start?
Day 1 was 10 until 8, and day 2 was technically 10 until 8 again, but from 10 till 3 they had scheduled in a like a panel talk type of thing.
Brilliant.
So it was from 3 until 8 on the second day.
Okay.
Now where to begin? I think it was too many categories. Let's take a step back. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time they've run such a big event like that. It was a 2-day event. So I'm just holding in a burp. Because I'm a classy guy, you know? Raised around rich people. No, what was I going to say? Yeah, so big 2-day event. As far as I know, it was funded. I don't know who, but I would imagine like Arts Council or something, right? So the thing is, in a situation like events, I don't think like money is it helps a big amount, but it's not the answer to everything, if you know what I mean. Like having more money into an event doesn't automatically make it a better event. And having an event with like very little money put into it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad event. Tends to be that's the case, that like the low budget events are like not as good and the high budget tend to be a little bit better. Like if you look at like a Red Bull event compared to like somebody's first time putting on a jam, usually it runs more to time. Like, you know what I mean? Like this big of a scale.
To the chatty shitty room.
Compared to the chatty shit room, we run always on time.
You can say it one more time, by the way.
No, it's not true.
Yeah, it's true.
No. She was ready.
So
dog.
Italian.
I've been counting.
It's one more time.
So
Carry on.
Where was I? The money doesn't always solve all the problems, because if you have a small event and you have certain problems, for example, I'm talking organizationally. So for example, like things running late or whatever, it's like, okay, with 2 categories, things run a little bit late, not the end of the world. If you make something huge and you have those same problems, the problems are magnified. So you can, if you can run a 1 or 2 category event, like fucking watertight, right? And there's like nothing going wrong, then you could maybe run a 5 or 10 grand event that's like with like more categories with a few little, it might be a little bit late, a couple of technical do you know what I mean? Because you're so good here that when that's magnified, it's only a few problems. If you run smaller events that have a lot of problems, when you make it big, you're gonna have a lot of problems. I'm not saying that this company ran smaller events with problems, because I hadn't been to any of their events before, but all I'm saying is they had a lot of money put into the event, but there was a lot of places that I was like, this isn't a money issue, this is an organization issue. Such as, well, first of all, too many categories, because there was a 2-day event that maybe didn't need to be 2 days if you brought the amount of categories down. I also think, I mean, that's fine. If there's certain categories you want to do, you want to make it a 2-day event. I actually don't really have a problem with that. It's not how I would have done this event, but again, not my event. But
Very good at dancing on the fence. Carry on.
Oh, I love dancing on the fence. What a feeling. So there, yeah, I think with the categories, what I would say is that there was not a harmony in terms of what categories were there, if that makes sense. So
No.
well, there was so many categories, but all of the categories kind of not overlapped, but a lot of people were doing multiple categories.
Okay.
Right. So I entered the All Styles 7 to Smoke. I entered the All Styles Cruise. I entered the Pop In, and I was going to enter the Live and Experimental, and then I didn't. Right. And then say for the breakers could have entered the Break In, the All Stars Cruise. So everybody's doing a lot of different stuff. I don't necessarily know that that's a good thing, because you kind of, everybody's fucking dead by the end of the weekend, and it's hard to keep the energy,
Very
in
true.
my opinion, right?
Very true.
So what I would do is, if you're going to have lots of events, lots of categories, you should split them up so that it's like people only come for their one or maybe two categories, right? But they can also watch the other stuff and feel the energy from each other. So everybody keeps each other's energy up because they are only doing their category. The other thing is, if you have everybody categories where everybody's involved in a lot of them, it's not everyone. Like some people just did like breaking and that's it. So it's not everyone. But if you have this type of events, you have to put in longer breaks because everybody's doing, you can't just keep running through. If you're doing, let's say like popping, breaking, whacking and all stars or whatever like that, people are doing one and then maybe two in some cases categories, which means you can just run the events back to back. I judged an event that a friend of mine, Beth, put on in Manchester called Vibe Connection. They did...
It's my favourite connection.
Popping, that is the favourite connection. Popping, breaking and it was breaking and then popping and hip hop, like a kind of mixed category thing. I think it was just two styles, but because of that they could just run it through because nobody's entering each other's style. So when the breaking is on, the poppers and hip hop dancers had a rest. When the hip hop and popping was on, the breakers had a rest. So there was one break after the prelims for the judges to make a decision, but it wasn't like you need to put a long break, if that makes sense. So, and then when you put in, going back to this event, when you put in long breaks, it drags the day out because it's like, it's one thing I think people think that with long breaks, it's like, oh, we're giving the dancers a chance to cypher and stuff like that. And it's like, when it's a day full of competing, I don't really want to cypher that much because I'm doing all the rounds in the world, you know? And it's like, she's changed. But
so stupid. Why would you do that?
In Paris. But and then, so this is the thing. I'm very trying to be like reasonable with this, but with the categories, there was long breaks, but at the same time, nobody had a chance to warm up for any of their categories.
Bruv, this event sounds stressful. Bro.
So it's like you're having a long break, but then it's like, okay, and popping top 16, go. And then it's like, and it's like, okay, well, when I had the break, I went to eat, and now I'm back. It's like I would have less / no breaks, but then like a 5-song popping, like let the DJ spin like 5 songs before the popping category. DJ spin 5 songs before the breaking category, so that you have moments for people to warm up in between. And then while the breaking is happening, everybody else is resting. Like, what do you think we're doing? We're sitting down watching with a bottle of water. So, or we're in the back ciphering or whatever we want to do, but we don't need the breaks. Do you know what I mean? And if it's like, the judges obviously need the time to make their selection, but if you have loads of different categories, if you pick judges you just swap them in. So it's like, while the popping judges are choosing their top 16, the break-in judges are doing the pre-selection or whatever.
Did you change the judges for every category?
Oh, that's another great segue.
Here we go. Problem number 2.
So and there's a difference between problems and, in my opinion, weird decisions, right? So it's not to say that everything that's a weird decision, in my opinion, is a bad thing, right? Because if somebody else loves it and thinks that's a great idea, great. And
we get it. You're being very, very. You're not shitting on it. You're just saying these are your opinions. It's fine.
I would never.
If you are watching this and you ran that event at the weekend,
we love you.
Just fucking take it on the chin. Take it on the chin. It's your first big event. You know, it's fine.
I don't know that it was, but
if it wasn't, what are you doing? Carry on. What's the next bit?
So the Marvel, Wayne, and WMP and Green Tech judged the popping. Now, they also judged the All Styles 7 to Smoke, and also judged the All Styles Crew Battle. And I think that was it. Then they had breaking judges that obviously judge the 3 breaking categories.
They're all poppers though.
Huh?
They're all poppers.
They're all poppers. That is the main issue with that thing.
Oh, with the
They judge All Stars.
I thought you said all of the breaking judges were all poppers. So I was like, what is going on?
No, and then there was the breaking categories, and I think that was all the styles. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know the decision making process on that, because again, like, I would have had a mixed category, a mixed panel for the all styles and not just poppers. Right, I'm saying that as a popper who probably slightly benefits from having 3 popping judges. And also, not that this is why, because we were fucking good, but we won the All Stars Crew Battles, and
talk about it, cuz
and we were 5 poppers. But we were very strong five poppers, and Harry didn't do popping the whole time.
What did
Harry,
do?
he was like, I'm saving my popping for the this is how legit Harry is. He was like, I'm saving my popping for the popping 2-on-2, so I'm not gonna do any popping rounds. So he did locking. He did a round that was like kind of top rock. He did to a breaking song like top rock mixed with like some concepts, and then he did hip hop. Bro, his hip hop round would have probably beat most of my hip. Like I'd have to really like pull it out of my ass to beat what he did in the hip hop
I
round.
love Harry.
So yeah,
Well done, lad.
Shout out to Harry on the versatility.
If we call him, he's gonna slaughter them, isn't he?
No, Harry's too nice. He would never have a bad word to say about anyone. That's why he's my friend.
Carry on.
So what was I going to say? Yeah, so the 3 popping judges judged the All-Stars. Fine, whatever. What else? So I think you asked me about the judges.
If they were all the same for the category.
If they're all the same,
And we'll talk
yeah.
about the breaks, like them changing.
Yeah, so then, yeah, I think just in terms of the structure of the day, it's like if you had other judges for the All-Styles, you could have the popping judges go and make their decisions while the All-Stars judges came and judged the All-Star prelims, not rather than having to wait for them to come back and you know what I mean? So it brings it drags it out basically. Also there's like a long break for lunch in the middle where it's like again, decisions versus right and wrong. Like I don't think it's wrong to have a long lunch break in the middle. I just wouldn't do it. I'd just be like, get your lunch, it's competition day, figure it out, like to the dancers, figure it out. Like if a dancer complained at one of my events like, oh, you didn't give us a break for lunch, it's like you're not entering all the categories, so go and go and grab your food when you can. It's like this is then I have to stop an NBA game in the middle and be like, go, guys, have you all been fed?
LeBron.
Yeah.
Don't shoot that fade away.
We've got sandwiches.
KFC?
Yeah, it's like you figure it out around the competition day. So that is something that I would have changed. Also, the problem is as well, it's like I think one thing you have to understand about yourself as an event organizer is like your organization has like we often talk about dancers being like products or brands. Like so if you're a dancer or a videographer, we talk about it a lot about like the marketing. It's like you are a brand. So Sophia might be a lovely person, but what's our perception of also visuals, right? Like your videography brand. It's like that will be different to how I see you as a person. So and I know you a lot, so that's different. But the average person might be like, oh, that girl's lovely, but her page is really unprofessional or whatever it might be, or it might be very professional, whatever. So that is your like that's your perception as a brand. You have the same thing as an event and as an event organizer, right? So you have to build up like a level of trust and understanding, and you also have to have a brand that like it speaks for itself without you. Like if you're not in the room and someone brings up your brand, like what do they know of you and what is it that people think of when they think of you? Like when we think of like Red Bull BC1, we think about a certain thing. We think about like high level competition, serious shit, expensive, like well-made shit. When we think about Dance Your Style, we don't think about we don't have the same awareness that we have of BC1. We think more fun, personality, like good music and popular stuff and like dancers having fun. We don't necessarily think of fun when we think of BC1.
Yeah.
We think of like hard work and sweat and tears.
Is that true?
Am I making sense so far?
BC1, would you say BC1's fun? I wasn't paying attention.
She's good. No, you should.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah.
Because I'm cutting.
No, I'm
Just
doing
in
the
case,
cuts.
yeah.
No,
Leave
but I'm saying,
everything she says
like
in.
when we think of Red Bull Dance Your Style, we think of like the fun and the happy and the popular music. When we think of BC1, we think of like hard work. We don't think of it and think, oh, like this is such a super fun event. We think this is where people go to like work hard and compete.
Well, it's for b-boys and b-girls, like is the main goal.
Yeah.
It can be like literally like career.
Yeah.
But is it would you say it's fun as well or not? It's like
fun. I think that the first time I've been invited to the BC1, just because it was the first time, I say I don't really care about anything. Like there was not even the crowd because it was COVID time.
Oh shit.
But for I train hard for the competition, but in the same time, just because I was happy to be there, there's anyway like a kind of first goal, you know. the competition starts at 9. At 8:58, I was still like eating, not just my things, even like other people things. Because everyone was super stressed. The competition was starting at 9.
Yeah.
Everyone at 6, they were doing jumping jack.
Yeah.
Okay? Me, I don't care. I'm gonna eat also your plate. So like, I'm super, super chill. And I remember people like getting crazy. Me, I was trying to make a choreography because anytime like the camera when gonna kinda shoot you when you have to enter. And I was saying to the organizer, so the first time that they're gonna shoot me, I'm gonna do like this, and then I'm gonna do like the choreography when I do like this with the can. They said that's of solid.
And how did you do in this battle?
Yeah. And then like my video and follow me on Instagram.
And then I lost in semi-final.
That's not bad.
But
Yeah, that's really not bad.
I enjoyed it so much. But the second year they've been invited, I was there like
Super serious.
war. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not even gonna talk with anybody.
Okay.
I was like,
So
Wow.
this is like a BC1 mentality. I feel like where you wouldn't feel like that about Dance Your Style. You'd be there having fun. And
Yeah.
no,
even the highest competitor is like, and that's on purpose. That's what my point is, I guess, is like, Red Bull have like marketed that in that way on purpose so that you think about it for a different thing. It's probably a different audience.
Yeah.
So I think this is
Really
some
smart.
me or Red Bull. I'm going to take that as me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Definitely Red Bull.
So yeah, Red Bull are very smart. He says as he drinks a Red Bull. Red Bull are very smart.
Did you know that these calories?
So all that to say is, from my viewpoint on the scene and the people I'm around, and which I also is worth saying, I make it my business to ask people about stuff and research and understand how the scene kind of feels on stuff.
Yeah.
Can't do a great job, but I do my best, right?
Yeah.
Or I can't do the perfect job.
Just pull the Jenga out.
I don't believe that they have a big like reputation for running events. They've run a few, but most people, if you said Rotation Dance Exchange or this event in Manchester, wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like in the same way that like if you said an in the house event, it's like people know what.
Never heard rotational dance exchange in my life.
Right, there you go. So people will, and also worth saying, you sit and talk with me about events every week for the last like 4-8 months or whatever.
Yeah.
So
4-8 months, such a long time.
48 months. Yeah, an in the house event or a firehouse event. Like you've heard of these things, or even like a Groovinometry, you've heard of that. Even ones like Just Jam, or like things like people have
heard of those,
know exactly. Even if you don't know, you've like, oh yeah, I've heard good things about Just Jam. What is it? Like, so they have some sort of reputation. So now when you don't have like this reputation, and that's kind of good in a way, because you also don't have a bad reputation.
Yeah. So you could set the bar for people's, the benchmark. in
But
some sense.
if it's going to cost you money to travel there, and then it's a 2-day event that you have to stay over, it means you have to book a hotel. It means you have to take up 2 days out of your weekend, when a lot of us are freelancers and creatives, and that means a lot of work happens on weekends. So you're asking a lot of your audience to give up 2 days for an event that has never been done before, first of all, and you as an organizer
you
don't
gotta
necessarily have a reputation. Well, even if you have to deliver, but it's also more about like, it's a bigger risk for the average person who doesn't have money, or isn't like super rich, or doesn't make the stupid decision to go to all events.
But that's what I mean by they have to deliver. So because if I'm in that position, they run it again next year, I might be like, well, I'm not going to that because it didn't deliver.
Like Groovinometry is a great example. They did, I don't know how many years, but I want to say like 4 or 5 events where it was just a small.
Very gassy today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone brought me loads of treats. Groovinometry ran like however many years of like every year they ran a small 1-day event with the same concept. They invited good people. So they had if you don't know about Groovinometry, they 7 versus 7 in breaking and top styles. I think it started out as just breaking, but they invited people. So they did like they would have however many guests, but 12 guests, I think. You don't know about Groovinometry. That's what I'm talking to you specifically.
I heard about it, but I'd never been.
Right. So it's like 7 versus 7. And then the last spot on each team was like, they do a cypher thing. So they used to just pick one person, and then you go. Actually, no, what they did was they picked 2 people. No, I lie. 4 people. They did a semi-final battle, and then the 2 winners of the battles go through to to join the already invited guest teams, and then you did it. they did that for however many years, and it was good. Every year had a really good reputation. The videos were like, people loved them. All the guests said they had a great time. Like, and it's not like so much a thing where everyone can go and participate. It's really like only like 4 people in the whole thing can qualify. But people will still travel up just to see it and watch it and stuff. Kept it in Manchester, run by LB and Farrow, who like, they know what they're doing with like dance scene. Like, they've been breaking for ages. So my point is, only after doing that for ages did they make it a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we have built up this trust, we've built up this thing, we're actually exceeding the capacity for all of these venues. So they upped the venue, and they were like, every time we up the venue, we're exceeding the capacity. So it makes sense now. We know the demand is there. We know people care about us. Let's make it a 2-day event, and let's do all this shit on the first day, all this shit on the second day, and then try and, so we can bring in more people, sell more tickets or whatever. And it went, I think this year was the first 2-day event. But yeah, it went really well. And it's like, I think a lot of people would agree that it's worth paying for a hotel, whatever, to go to spend the weekend doing gravimetry or spend your time. So that was that was like the kind of initial thing. A lot of people that I spoke to were like, no, I'm not going to go, because it's like, they don't know how it's going to go. They could go up and it was a horrible weekend, could go up as a great weekend, but I'm not going to spend my money and time if
I'm not going to risk it.
I'm not going to risk it.
Yeah.
So this is something that I think wasn't thought of, right? And especially with all the categories and stuff, it's just like, it's already like, when we see a list of categories like that, it's good because a lot of people can enter and it can appeal, but we also go,
sounds like maybe they did that to get more money.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like, the more categories in a ideal world, if all things were equal, more categories should mean more dancers, which should mean more tickets, which should mean whatever.
But you were going to say something?
But as I was saying to you as well, in my opinion, it's important also who's organizing. If for example, the organizer of Grovanometry is LB and everyone in the scene knows LB, there is a good person and whatever. Like, even if, I don't know, I'm not gonna compete, I'm gonna go anyway to the event, like, okay, I'm injured, but I will go because I know it's gonna be a good event. Also, he's a b-boy and he knows how to organize it, and yes, is trustworthy. And so it's like, as I was saying, for example, if you organize the capsule competition, right?
Yeah.
We are 1, 2, 3 for sure. Like, all of us, we are coming,
Yeah.
because we know, like, you do something for the community as well. You like the podcast and stuff.
Thank you.
And
I try.
I mean, why not supporting the capsule at this point if there is a competition that we can, so it's mostly also who's organizing. Like, yesterday, a b-boy was asking me, do you know this competition in Italy? I didn't know the competition, but I saw who was organizing, and I say, okay, it makes sense because I know the organizer, So, like, of course, like, if you don't know the organizer, maybe people, they don't know Eddie, like, they can say, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's very like, and it's not to say like, oh, you have to be an active dancer, or, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, only the dancers can organize competition for dancers. It's this same thing about like building up some type of reputation or awareness. It's like anything. Like, when I started doing photography and video, I had to make connections in order to, like, the clients that I'm working with now, a lot of them don't know me as a dancer. Like, they're actually surprised when I'm filming and they're like, oh, so how did you get into this? And I'm like, oh, I'm actually a dancer. And they're like, oh, no way. Like, that's what I get most of the time now. But when I first started, all the people that I was shooting with were my friends who were dancers, right? So it's like, it would be like guys from the crew or whoever, or friends of friends, because you have those connections. So as an organizer, you can't go straight into like organizing events for a demographic that don't know you.
2-day event and hardly anyone knows you. Or if you're going to do that, you better deliver. Otherwise.
If you come in, like, nobody really knew, not that they don't know Red Bull, but they don't know the organizers of Red Bull.
Yeah.
Actually, is that a good...
No, because the brand.
Yeah, they know the brand. Yeah,
but
true.
like, you have to build something before.
Nike.
To be like, okay, I know him, I know her.
Yeah.
I want to go to support the event.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be good or if it's gonna be bad, like, I'm gonna go because I know her. Like,
like AIM doing their first event or something.
Yeah.
Like, even the biggest event, they had 1 year that it was horrible. Like, for example, one of my favorite events ever is IBE, but as long as I know, like, there were years they was going down. But this year it was super good. And anyway, the organizer, they are a big team. They are big boys, big girls, and whatever. They know how an event works and is super big, you know. But even in that case, even if it's a big event, it can go bad, you know. So and anyway, people will go because they know the organizers.
Yeah,
you know,
they've been around for time.
It depends a lot about yourself. Who's the seller? You know?
And if you've been doing an event for 15 years, one event out of 15 going bad is not a big deal. If you've only done one event going bad is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not the end.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Oh, there's more.
It's the beginning.
Yeah, come on. You've been speaking for 26 minutes about this. I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying
That's why
how many bad things is there?
That's why it's such a shitty room. Just bad things. Come on.
That's it.
It's right.
You've said it too many times now.
Yeah.
There's no
That's
more
the
chatty shit. That's your 5.
No more chatty shitty rooms.
Can't say it anymore.
Say it.
If he cut it,
Yeah, imagine just, from now on, every time she says it, I'm going to bleep
let's
it.
start now. Midnight.
So what else? I think the 2 things that are really important at a dance event: venue and music, because the venue gives you the identity of the event. Like it's like having a interior design of your house or whatever. It's like the 4 wall. Like if somebody else moved in here, they could make this house feel completely different to how I make it feel. Right? It's the same as an event. Like the venue gives the feeling and the event and the feeling and the identity and the vibe of the event. That was one of the problems. I ran events at Studio B, but when there was that period where there were so many events at Studio B, which is a great thing because we need events for like to help the scene grow. But the downfall of it was that they all kind of felt like a Studio B event, not individual
Events.
different type of events with different feelings. So when you have unique venues that you only ever use for that thing, it really makes you feel like, oh yeah, I remember how it felt. That's why Summer Dance has a lot of people really love it, because that venue Paradiso is like so what's the word when it's like
Iconic.
synonymous with that event? Synonymous, is that the right way? Like if you think Summer Dance Forever, you think Paradiso.
Yeah.
You don't, you know what I mean? It's
We
like,
know what you're talking about.
it was Just Taboo. It was the basketball court. with Just Taboo, it was the basketball court, and then it was Bercy. So it's like when you see those venues, you think Bercy.
So if someone else,
C'était Bercy.
if someone else did something in Paradiso that wasn't to do with dance,
Well,
if
they
you
did
saw
that, Just
you'd be
Taboo
like,
Amsterdam, and it was weird for me. Like watching on the videos, I was like, oh,
yeah, they
2
did
on
do
2
that. Yeah,
Summer
yeah,
Dance.
yeah,
And then it was like, oh no, this is Just Taboo Amsterdam. I was like, okay, I'm on board, but why don't they say who won, did you win, you lose? Like it's kind of felt weird, you know, like
The real question is, do you know what paradiso means? They say in Italian word.
paradise.
Paradise, I would imagine.
Okay, we can.
Wait. Did you
She thought we were not going to
Did you think that we wouldn't think that Paradiso meant paradise?
Scusi.
Full circle. That was good. You saved it. That was good. Well done.
It's okay.
She's like, do you know what Paradiso means?
Okay.
It actually
Means
means
tarantula. So
It's okay, not okay.
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 Okay. So anyway, the venues were not terrible, but not my favorite. One was basically a dance studio, which is fine. That was the first prelim day. It was fine, except for the fact that I wasn't in love with the music quality or volume.
Speaker system wasn't. the
Yeah,
one.
no. I mean, the DJs, in my opinion, Lewis DJ'd and he did a great job. Everyone, and that's not just me
I
saying
saw a
that.
lot of
No, in my
stories.
round.
Oh my god, she got one song that was a bit too slow for her, and she's like,
1
it was a
BPM.
horrible song. It was a good song. It was just a slow popping song.
1 BPM. It's experimental dance battle.
Yeah, why didn't you experiment then?
Nothing.
She was like, it's an all-stars battle. Why didn't I get a break beat?
It's not true.
It was a nice song. I liked it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Why you didn't enter?
I did enter.
was
Oh,
open.
I ranked top in the all-stars prelims. Because, you know, after they did the prelims, they put, if it's a 7 to smoke, they put the first person who you have to start by beating is the person who has the best prelim.
Oh, I didn't know that South Smokes were.
Yeah, so it's like whoever starts, because you have the first chance to beat everyone because you had the best prelim.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, and then I lost
Many
both of my battles
koalas.
straight away and didn't win anymore.
Man, who the fuck put him first?
It
sucks.
It's so funny. I had a really good prelim. Like even watching it back, I was like, oh, I actually did really good. And then just my rounds in the 70s were fucking horrendous. I got fucking destroyed.
It gets like that. Yeah, it gets like that.
It happens.
Rise of Luke.
Rise of Luke.
But did you
And
lose
the
to?
rise and the fall.
Yeah.
What did you lose to?
Who didn't I lose to this weekend? I did so many rounds. I lost to everyone that was at the event.
Even me, they didn't pass the preselection.
Who?
I didn't pass
Oh,
the preselection.
yeah. And she beat me still. Because of Lewis and his
Come on,
songs.
like
I want to see it now. I want to hear this song.
I didn't even like. I watched like half of my my round, and then it's like
She threw her whole phone in the river. No,
Lewis, next time Lewis like is advertising to do a job, it needs to have like a picture
Just
of
cut
Lewis
this.
and have Tigran, and then under the quotes like I deleted my round because the song was 1 BPM. That needs to be his selling point.
people in the background watching me like this.
That's
okay.
the worst.
It cannot be a real.
Oh dear.
Okay, so besides that one song, everyone said Lewis did a good job. I thought Breaking DJ was good as well.
This will humble him a little bit though, because he's getting a bit cocky with it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
He's
he
always a
needs
little bit
this.
cocky.
Well done.
Well done, what?
I said well done for
Bringing
shitting on
Lewis.
Lewis, because Lewis is like, he's
Too
like,
confident.
oh, I'm so fucking good with DJing.
No,
Like, you see the way I
no.
DJ.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
That's not true.
Oh, Lewis.
No. He did a good job. Like I told him. Like the first day, he dropped like lots of
Bangers.
beautiful tracks. A lot. I was enjoying it just sitting and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Um,
And even in the All Stars and stuff, like I think it was good. Nice mix of stuff. Good songs.
I was just,
So, I mean, the
just
All-Stars
complaining-
cruise, I was
just
thinking.
complaining about myself,
Yeah.
about my unlucky thing. And it's also my fault because I cannot dance on that music.
At 1 ppm.
1 BPM. No, come on, about 1 BPM, no, even less twins.
I hope that, I don't know what the next major battle that you have, but I hope a DJ plays a really fucking slow beat and you go second and the person who goes first smashes it, and then you're like,
Shit.
and then Lewis is in the crowd and he goes,
Not just me.
1 BPM. That's what I hope.
Not anymore.
Okay, pulling it back on track.
Sorry, yeah, go. You got enough pieces of it.
Yeah, so Lewis played good songs, so did Breaking DJs, but if it's not like a banging speaker system, I mean, it was good. Like if you're on the dance floor in front of the speakers, you can hear it. It wasn't, I've been at way worse, like I've had way worse speakers at battles, but it wasn't the best for sure. It just kills the mood a little bit and the vibe, because it's like, I don't want to be doing my rounds and I can hear people having a conversation. Like, do you know what I mean? And it happens, but I don't like it, you know?
That's why you have to shush when there is the experimental.
Okay, there's another segue. So they did the live and experimental. Now, I think personally, I love those type of battles. Create, do it, and Create do a great job of like cultivating this type of event. There's other events that have done this live and experimental thing. So live music played with experimental.
Was it
thing.
live music? Oh, I didn't know. Sick.
In theory, it's a great concept and it works well and it's
There
nice.
we go.
Now, in my opinion,
There's Luke.
when you put it in the middle of an event, again, considering the harmony of the categories, like I said before, when you put it in the middle of an event which has breaking, all styles, popping, which are like the rowdy, and cruise, which is the rowdiest of styles, and then in the middle you turn off the music and then have people playing the guitar and the drums, which is great. But when you don't have, like, when you go to a concert or something, you have them mic'd up and hooked up to a speaker system, right? So that everybody, you don't just have Wembley Stadium and there's just a guy with a drum set trying to, it's like, guys, quiet down so I can, you know? So obviously they didn't have it mic'd up and stuff. And it was not that loud, especially on the first day. Second day was a bit better, but first day it wasn't that loud. And obviously, again, loud enough that you can hear. I'm not saying it was like a background thing, but it was to the extent that if me and you were talking like this, it would have ruined the round, right? So it's like people are doing rounds. And obviously the experiment, again, if you're talking about the harmony, people that are doing experiment on the way that they're approaching it is a very like theater type of environment, right?
It's performative.
And it's very like not spiritual, but that kind of like, I'm going to try and go to a place and channel energy and blah blah blah. if I've just done like all styles and popping and stuff and I'm chilling, I'm not in that mood. Like I'm just here like, yeah, so anyway, fucking this, just chatting, and they're over there like getting into their zone and connecting and stuff. Yeah. And it's like, if you can hear me laughing and having the conversation, it's like ruins the vibe. And the host had to tell people like, guys, can we not have any conversations while this is up? Because there's moments where it's like really quiet and the drummer's just doing
and they can hear me going
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So which I get, and it makes sense because you don't want to disrespect the dancers who are dancing, but
at the same time,
the reason why Create works is because the whole event is that. So it cultivates that environment where
The prelims is DJ.
No, but the whole event is centered around this concept. So when you go, you're there. That's the main goal, is to get to this. Yeah. Like you're there to like come out of your comfort zone and do it. So you enter in this space like knowing what you're there for. And if you're an audience member, you know what you're there for. So when it goes quiet, the whole room is like, we're here to see it go quiet. And you're all sucked into that. I didn't go to do that. I came to pop and to battle and to hang out with my friends and talk. Like, you know what I mean? So it is kind of weird as an audience. Also, it's very, to a certain extent, it's very hard to ask much of your audience. Like I don't owe you anything. And then not to be a dick, because obviously, like I said, for the dancers, I don't want to obviously ruin their rounds.
But at the same time, you're a grown-ass man.
At the same time, I paid my money to come in, so I can talk if I want to. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bit like,
maybe next time.
What about I continue this conversation? It's a great point that you made, but instead of that, maybe I'm just going to continue this.
Can I say something?
Always.
Jilu said that you are offbeat.
Jilu said that I'm offbeat.
Yeah.
Well, last time I trained with Jilu, she made me break my ankle. So that has nothing to do with it, but that's
Still
my
offbeat,
reply.
right?
This is so racist.
Because she sent me like a video of Italian people doing things when they talk.
Yeah.
And I sent a video to her. Like, I think even Luke, like, he's a little bit Italian because he's doing
I thought she was going to say even Luke is a little bit offbeat. No, go on.
No, it's a little bit Italian because he's doing like lots of blah 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 like this. And he said, she said, I don't think he is
Italian
beat because his hand is moving like offbeat.
Listen, tell Jilu. I don't know. I was going to say I'll smoke her, but I definitely won't.
You got to firm it.
It's all right. I can battle her.
We told her.
She's doing well to fit in because she's derailing the topic.
Yeah.
And that is a staple of the
fucking
capsule.
wavy. She can come back.
You can come back. You've earned your place here by derailing the topic.
I was hoping she wasn't going to
Well, I
spot
don't
you.
understand, but like, yeah. Can you repeat? So I'm part of the conversation as well.
Literally. Luke is like, whatever. Bro, I'm not from here. You can
Okay.
I wasn't born in Watford.
So, yeah, with the live and experimental, it's like you don't have to, as an audience member, it's when you're told like, you have to be quiet. It's kind of a bit like you're lucky that the audience comply because they also could not comply.
Yeah.
And you can't really say anything to them because it's like, well, I paid my money, so you do your thing and I'll do my thing.
Hey everyone, let's go get KFC.
Yeah.
We'll be back when this is finished.
Yeah.
Everyone leaves.
So they did that. And I think it's also not fair on the dance because they're asked to get into this kind of creative space where the whole room isn't in that, and you have to like find your zone, and they did well to do what they did, but
maybe hand out hot cacao to all the
that would be the vibe
standing around, and
that
then
what?
you could hot cacao. I feel that's very experimental, you know.
what
Cacao, chocolate.
You don't know cacao?
You don't know cacao? You've clearly
You're not
never been to
familiar with cacao. Do you even burn Palo Santo? What's the other thing called when you like it's like a thick thing and you wave it and the spirits or something?
Palo Santo, isn't it? Is that Palo
Yeah, that's
Santo?
the wood one, but there's another one that's like looks like a little bush thing.
Oh, sage.
Sage.
Do you even burn sage? Do you even take a gold bowl and rub a brush around the outside of it for some reason?
Yeah, but have one of those gold bowls next time you're doing experimental battles. Stupid.
So yeah, that was a bit of a weird thing. And also, okay, positive and negative of the same thing. They weren't really timing the rounds, and even when they were, it was like very long. Like they left it for like at least a minute and a half, even for the pop in and stuff each round. I liked it. Camilla also said the same thing. Like we liked having long rounds because it's like you can decide when to finish, and even if like you do get to the countdown, it's like you've really like got into your rounds. Like I think Camilla danced really well this weekend, and she was saying she thinks it was also like she was on fire, but like
So she didn't have to like pace her round at a certain time. She
yeah,
did
it's
that
like if
own
you're doing
pace.
45-second
Yeah,
rounds,
it's
if you're
hard.
not, if that's not your specialist skills to be able to come straight in like that, the 1.5 minute to 2.5 minute, 1.5 to 2 minute rounds gives you a chance to get there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I think she really did. Like she really like made the use of the full. It wasn't like these rounds feel long. It was especially with like some of the poppers that can do like watching Paris go off, bro. You like the round she did at AIM? You liked the round she did at AIM? If I don't know if people filmed this thing, the finals of the pop-in, but like
2v2.
oh no, even the more fire of Paris I think was the semis.
Who won 2v2?
Oh,
Because
that was
because Harry sent me a message.
what did he say?
He said.
Wait, maybe let me see it before
Okay.
in case. So yeah, Paris's round.
Semi-finals.
Taiwo and Slayer against Paris and Harry.
She tucked them in.
It was so close.
What
man.
did-
it went to a tie the first round?
Is it?
And then they went to extra round, like bro. And it was like I think as much as you can deserve a tie, it was a deserved.
So
tie.
that was like the battle of the.
That and I mean the
event?
finals was also fire as well, but that was slightly more hyped. Like it was a really good round the finals,
Yeah.
but also because I feel like it was more of an intense battle. They were going at each other,
At each
whereas
other,
the
yeah.
finals they were all like enjoying it and
Yeah.
dancing well.
Who was the finals?
Lucia and Camilla against Harry and Parry and
What
Harris.
is this? Parry and Harris. What's this decision? Get to
No,
the
no,
decision.
it's worth saving.
Fuck's sake! All right,
It's
come
like
on.
the ice cream at the end
Okay, I'll
of the
stop
meal,
talking.
you know. So yeah, Paris had some fucking fire rounds. You'd really enjoy it. So the reason I say that is because Sophia, bring us back on track. Why did I bring up the pop-in and why did I bring up Paris?
About Paris and
Oh,
Talk
the
about
long
the
rounds.
length of the rounds.
It wasn't the length of the rounds. I didn't feel from pretty much anyone's rounds like, I didn't feel like, these are long or you're dragging it out. It really felt like you're using the time and getting there and like creating more. So I think if you can, in the overall context of the event went on too long and it was running late and stuff. So potentially a mistake there. If you can afford to run an event with like 2-minute rounds or something, especially in top styles, like breaking is a bit different, but I think it works, man. Like, especially if you've got good people there who, you know, you should, if we're at the case of the top 8 or the top 4 or whatever. Yeah, I think it really fucking worked. Like and it was exciting, man. So yeah, the long rounds and yeah, so imagine in the live and experimental where you have 2 rounds each. Again, love it for the dancers, but 2 rounds each dancer. And they go on for as long as you want. Now in popping, that's what breaking is like. They'll finish. Popping will still finish. Theatrical, live and experimental people will do a whole 30-minute
Yeah,
theater
for
piece
real.
if you let them.
Come on.
So it was like, and I'm not saying the dancing wasn't great to watch or wasn't exciting, but just time wise, if you're waiting for your next category,
And also, you have to be quiet whilst they're doing it.
and you have to be quiet, it was going on. Like and like if you watch, you're like amazing, but if I'm trying to just chill and have a conversation, I'm like, okay, but I'm tired, when's the next round? Like, you know, and if you're doing, it's like, okay, you do, let's say the top 8, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna do this before the all styles, and you're like, well, all right, I'll go. I don't want to go out because I don't want to, I don't want to miss it, so I stay here, and then I'm like, fuck, this is taking a while. You know, it just was like not well. It wasn't like a cohesive schedule, I think.
I hadn't thought about it. Do you reckon there was like halfway through an experimental round that was like 30 minutes? They were like,
Damn it.
I
We
mean,
didn't
Sis
think
from Netherlands was delivering a good round, like in 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Come on.
in experimental.
No.
In
In breaking.
In breaking,
Like in
okay.
20 seconds, enough. Like you can show, like, but come on, one round of the rain, like just raining.
Oh yeah, so they had like different concepts, which is why I signed up for experimental, and then just before it started, I took my name off. Quite glad I did. Just because me personally, I don't like that type of thing. But it's live music and kind of experimental, which is fine. But they also do concepts, and what I don't like, I think maybe we've spoken about this at Sphere when we were at Create, but like I like concepts when it's like, okay, Abe, do a round to this, like to the drummer and a guitar player, and it's like the idea is like let's say like electricity or like stickiness, or like I don't mind that type of stuff when it's kind of movement qualities. But when they're like, this isn't an example of what happened, but it's the type of thing, but it's like you're at a wedding in space, or it's like no, I'm not dancing a wedding. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not dancing, like I'm not this dance acting stuff, or like or like you're an elephant. It's like no, I'm not.
The waiter just told you that they have no more apple strudel.
Yeah,
and you've been wanting apple strudel for about a week.
This is anyway. So
it actually was.
No, but like it's not that bad. But like for me as a dancer, I hate that.
Like corruption or something, right? I saw like
there was a few rounds where it was okay when they did stuff like
corruption, like
Black Lives Matter. Go.
Oh my God.
Someone give me a black square.
I've got a really funny video, but there was ones that was like it said like I think it was one. It was like injury and then satisfaction or something like that.
What?
Yeah, they had to give like pick words from the audience, like shout out words. There's like injury, and then when they said the injury one, like while it was happening, like Camilla and Motherfunk were like fake ciphering, like they were like in the back, and
were they ciphering to the words or the concept?
Yeah. So they were doing injury, so they were like acting out like as if they were ciphering injury, right? Like, just coming up with stuff like they're just like. And the other person would go and they're just going back and forth doing different types of like miming injury stuff. It was very funny at the time. Anyway, so yeah, it's just like I don't love that, but if people like it, I get that. That's not necessarily criticism. That's just what I didn't like about that. So that category in the middle was a bit weird. Like when I went to the Breaking League in Derby, they collaborated with Create, which again is very like the Breaking League is like real like purist breaking, like hardcore breakers type of event, right? So like literally like I was the only non-breaker I think at the event. I don't know there was anyone else that was a top styler there. No, I don't think there was. But they had Create, which is the experimental bar, but they had it on the Friday night. So you had Friday was Create, then Saturday, Sunday was the Breaking League. That makes sense because you choose to go on the Friday night knowing that it's this. In that way, it makes a nice break from the event because you're like, oh, this is something completely different. But when you're there, you know what to expect for the whole day. Yeah. If they did Create at the same time as the Breaking League and changed it and you've got fucking Karam and Kelvin going off and Sonny doing a judge demo and then someone comes out and is like, stars. Like, it's not going to get the same, especially when you're kind of compete with the more hardcore and energetic stuff. It might work. Yeah, it might work in reverse if the whole event was that and you had one category where it was a bit hype. That might bring the energy up a little bit in the moments, but yeah. So I think that was maybe not the greatest thing. Okay. The day two was at like the venue wasn't too bad. It was at like a yoga kind of loft studio thing. So it was like, it was a good size for the amount of people that came. If more people had come, it wouldn't have been great. But for the amount of people that came, it was cool. Yeah, that was a bit better than the like dance studio thing. But again, the music was louder, but it still wasn't banging. And I just think it makes such a difference. We did one event at a nightclub in 2012. And
I was 11.
Huh?
I was 11.
Wow. And it was like I just think in terms of like acoustics, right? So often you have these events where the speakers are that end, which is this second day two venue was like this. Speakers were that end facing the crowd, then the judges, then the battle floor, then all the crowd this side, right? Very normal event setup and in theory is fine. When we did that event, and I've been to other events like this where we had the floor in the middle and the judges there, and all around the outside was crowd, and then there was like a second like kind of this high so people could like pull themselves up and sit up on it, so you had a bunch of people like that. Then you had on one side opposite the doors you had a staircase that went up and then like a balcony above, so and we packed it out. It was like a 300 capacity room or something, and we hit capacity within the first hour before the battle started.
This is in 2012. This
Yeah.
is the 2012 event.
This is one of our battles that we ran. And so there was people everywhere like around, and then on the stairs and then on the balcony. So imagine like having people all around you and you do one thing, and then it's a nightclub, so the speakers are like huge, like just drowned out anything. Like if I was standing here, you couldn't hear me speak, right? So it's like drowning that out. And then imagine like everybody goes mad for a round. Like when people are cheering, you hear that and feel it from all angles, which is like, this is like the design of events. It's not just about having a venue that can fit people. It's about how the venue encourages different things. You can also think about it in a way of like, where are ciphers going to happen? Like Eurobattle had a great thing where they had a big warehouse type event, but they had the battle floor, the audience, but then they had slightly raised like cipher floors, like dotted around. So it was like there was like, let's say like 3 or 4 raised with like lino, and so like you have the audience, and if you want to go cipher, it's not just find a space and create stuff. It's like you have like floors to like warm up and cipher. So it's like stuff like that. It's like you're not just thinking about the aesthetics of the event or whatever. You're thinking about how is this layout going to encourage people to like be in the best space and respond, and that type of thing.
All encompassing.
Yeah. So there's a lot in terms of that, of like the flow of the event. If when people come in the door, we were talking about when we did for Toby's event, OV battle.
We were just thinking of that.
One of the things when we had a meeting with Ivan and Toby, when they were talking about it, is like, where are we going to put the dance floor? And one of the things that they were talking about was, I was just happened to be in the meeting because my stuff overlapped with what Toby was talking about, but Toby and Ivan were talking about people are going to come in this way and the screen is going to be here and the speakers are there, but where do we want the dance floor? Because do we want people to open the door and have the dance floor directly in front of them, or do we want them to open the door and have it at the other side so that they can filter in and they don't get clogged up? Because if you have people walk in and there's something exciting happening,
Stop and watch, yeah.
you stop and watch, which means there's nobody at the big part and this part's really cramped and the room just feels mismatched. So you have to really think about the flow. And what they were even saying is like the event manager was like, the venue manager was like, we could open up the other door and have people come out of this way and then they have to walk around to get into the other side. And like, you think about the whole flow of how the event's going to work. Like you leave to go to the toilet, fine, you can get out as quick as you want, but to come back in, you go a bit more around, you know what I mean? Like, and it just keeps the flow going. So there's all these things that you can think about, especially if you have money to think of these things or look at different venues. Like, again, if you can only afford to get like a little dance studio, fine, like you work with what you can. But yeah, so anyway, all that to say, I think they should have invested in bigger speakers or tested the speakers before, because I think it wasn't, again, going back to what you said, it kind of is the benefit of being a dancer. Like the first thing you would do is like put the music on, stand on the floor and be like, all right, I'm imagining I'm doing a round. Is this loud enough? Also, human body absorbs sound. So if you go into a venue,
Scientist.
well, I'm something of a scientist myself. No, but so if you go into a room and you play music, it will be more echoey than it will be when there's people filling the room, because it's bouncing off all of the empty walls, and it will be louder than it is when it's full of people.
We don't just chat shit. We chat science.
So yeah, you don't get the reflection off the walls and stuff. So you have to bear these things in mind.
All right, Professor Duke.
And it's also temperature wise as well. Like a room will obviously be hotter when it's full.
Come on, stop.
What an asshole.
We get it, Professor.
The first thing to test is the floor, not even the music. Come on.
Yeah, as a dancer, not as an organizer.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, all right, fine.
Well,
Also
you organize the events for yourself or for the dancers?
well, that's a good question.
But I would say that's really specific to breaking.
Yeah, that is really specific to breaking.
Like,
we don't care
don't
as
do
much
that.
about the floor.
Like we will just, I mean, maybe house dancers, they would like put like talk on the back on the floor and like, yeah, but
Talking about it, do they?
you know what I mean?
Baby powder.
Yeah,
But when you go to a breaking event, the first thing is like,
that's a throwback.
No.
Yeah, they really do.
It's not this. It's this.
yeah, but
rub
you
the
know
head.
what I mean? Like they would
Do
go
they?
and, like,
You guys look like a fucking bunch of dogs. No, the floor's not good.
Anyway, all that to say, there's a lot of stuff to think about.
And then the lights into
The
the
back.
back.
Yeah.
Like this. Lots of lights.
Bunch of animals. The Olympics is going to be like, the people who organise the Olympics are going to come to the room and be like, oh my God.
There's actually someone posted a video of that. I forget where I saw it, but it's like how B-Boys testified, and they're up on a balcony filming the B-Boys. I think it's like one of the BC1 qualifiers or something. And yeah, it's just that they're all just standing around like rubbing their heads and their hands and like rubbing their feet. It's just like, it's like no one's like looking at each other. They're all just doing it independently on the floor. It's pretty funny.
Oh, Jumanji. Right, what's the decision?
So, all right, let's get to that then.
You got one, man.
So, one last thing before we get there.
Okay.
One thing I didn't like is the experimental
Yeah.
was judged by,
Yeah.
oh,
drum roll please. Thank you. You were there before me. was judged by the event organizer. Give me another. One of the dancers who was competing and a random audience member.
What?
What do we think of this concept?
Whoa.
For life like this. What's going on?
Oh.
So let's just bring that back again. It was judged by the event organizer, one of the dancers who's competing that changed every round, a random person from the audience who at some point was a 7-year-old girl.
It just judged it.
I judge it. It's true.
Wait, so someone that's competing in the category is actually judging the same category they're dancing.
And they're changing it every round?
And they're changing who that person is every round, yeah?
But the organizer stays the same and the audience member stays the same?
No, they change the audience member every round as well.
Okay, and this was explained before...
No. But like as it was starting, that's what they...
Great. So guys,
You just made it up. So we've got a really cool concept for you. I'm going to judge it, and one of you are going to judge it. But we're going to change it up every round. And sure, kid, you can come judge it if you want, and we'll change up an audience member every round.
And we'll all wear orange hat. That part was a joke.
No. But if you could please shut the fuck up because they're dancing and it's...
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I didn't enter, so maybe it was explained to the people before.
It's a bit out there.
Yes.
I don't know if I would enter that if that
I've
was
heard of
something else.
the only part that isn't weird to me is one of the dancers judging, because we've had events where that's happened.
Yeah.
Where it's been like there's 2 people battling and then the other 6 will judge and then it like rotates or something.
Yeah,
it's not a unbiased or fair way of judging, but it's a concept. Like if you enter knowing that, then fine. But still, also I don't know how much experimental dancers are into everything being fair.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're just like, okay, it's all about the expression and the thing. They're not like so competitive like the top stylers or the breakers are, you know. I mean, that concept in a breaking battle, like, Jesus Christ, it'd be a riot. Yeah, so anyway, that was that.
Decision.
So now,
Is this the finals, 2v2?
This is, I will tell you.
We already know who's in that. That means this is between Harry and Paris and Camilla and Motherfunk.
I will tell you what I know with no bias, with no...
He's going to put on his best politician's hat.
This is about to get very political.
I want to play the voice note Harry said.
Okay.
Can we do...
Okay, we're back. This edit's going to be all over the place again.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say this with what I know, which is admittedly not everything, and without trying to necessarily give away too much private conversations, because I think that's not fair.
Yeah.
And without any bias or opinion. Now,
Boring.
that's my rules. You guys don't have to abide by them.
Yeah.
I will say how I know. Now, here's what happened.
I want to
Paris and Harry battled against Lucia and Camilla. Motherfunk. Sorry.
Don't use governments. Use
I almost said, sorry, Lucia and Motherfunk. I mean, Motherfunk and Camilla. I'm supposed to be unbiased. Motherfunk. There is no Lucia.
Mama Funk.
Mama Funka.
Mama Lucia.
Really good battle.
Yeah.
Both of them, like all 4 of them, were amazing. It was actually, in my opinion, very close battle, right?
No opinion.
Yeah, no opinions. No, I think it was a really close battle. Everyone was going off. It was sick. Everyone's enjoying it. All good. Now, the way they did it for all of the battles was the judges like had a chat in the finals and like figured out who they wanted, and then one person would go and like raise the hand of the person who won, right? And this is done in a lot of battles all over the world. Like we convert. Oh, I vote for blah blah. I vote. Yeah, okay. So they won. Yeah. One judge is pick whoever the head judge usually or whatever. Lift the hand, and then you guys won. Cool. This is how they decided to do the format of the finals. I don't really have a problem with that. All good. So they do the battles. All good. Wayne, WMP, Green Tech, and Marvel are judging. They talk. Really good battle, really close. They talk, and then they go to lift the hands, and it's WMP Wayne who is given the task of raising the hands. He goes, and he goes 3, 2, 1, and he lifts Motherfunkin' Camilla's hand. They are like super shocked and like start celebrating and blah blah. Harry and Paris are good, gracious losers, and say well done, like blah blah blah. Yeah, there's other stuff in between this that I know that I can't talk about. But so then we go straight into the crew battles, do the crew, and obviously all four of them. No, except for so Harry,
Motherfucker and Camilla are the same team.
Our team, and we do the crew battles and win. Cool.
So then for and you.
And
Paris
Martina
isn't.
and me.
Martina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Paris
Martina instead of Paris is our
Okay,
crew.
yeah,
Paris wasn't there when we decided that.
But
Otherwise,
there's one black person in there, so it's all right.
yeah, that was the decision making process. We said we need versatility. Bro, you're ruining the bit that you're gonna want to hear.
Go on. Sorry.
So, all right, when you're ready.
I'm listening,
You wanted
bro.
this all part.
I'm listening, bro.
Okay,
God.
so there is conversations that are had.
Sorry, 2 seconds. Do you reckon all four of them stood around and was like, Paris doesn't want to do it. Who can we get? And they just see Martina like drinking or like walking around. And they're like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh my god.
Oh, it's fine. I'll cut all this out.
Oh, sorry, gone.
Okay.
You're right, Solid. Solid looks like she's going to fall asleep,
No,
bro.
I'm thinking about where I can practice if they don't allow us in the pure gym. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. Tomorrow is closed.
Solid's going to be walking around London like this. No, not with this spot, guys. I mean, it's a sofa. It's a bed.
Watch you for the backflip.
Oh, that was good. Well done.
Sorry, carry on. All right.
But please, can we say that we have a good weekend, like with the other girls and whatever?
Yeah, but the best, you are asking
on.
for this story all pod, and now you're stepping all over it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to step over it.
And Harry and I know people that are tuning in just to hear us talk about this. They were like, I saw people like, when you're recording the pod, yeah,
Oh, really?
bro. We're gonna have the real conversation after the pod finishes. But as people that were like, "You're recording on Monday," I'll be tuning in. So we do the crew battle, finishes, we win, do the same thing, lift the hand, all good, we celebrate, cool.
This is after the 2v2
Straight
already
after,
happened.
literally straight, and they had to go straight in, so they were like, "Yeah, cool." Finish. That's the end of the event. Wrapping up. Blah blah. Now, conversations are had. People are going up to other people and saying, and then
Did you think this person should have won?
no, not even that. Like, as in, judges are talking to each other, organizers talking to the judges. Judges are coming up to like Harry, and then go, and it's like people are like,
Don't tell me.
That would be
and then
really
it's just
bad.
you walk by. You're supposed to make this, and it's like, what's happening here? So then I see Motherfunk gets talked to, and then she goes and talks to Camille, and then there's a group, and at this point, no one looks happy. Like the faces are like not happy. Like from Harry, from Paris, from the judges, no one in this situation is happy about this. So what it turns out is that Green Tech and Marvel voted for Harry and Paris.
No. Oh
So
my
now you see why I didn't want you to step on the story.
God.
So as best as I can understand, and this is again without trying to put too much like of my bias or my opinion on it, as best as I can understand, there was a miscommunication between the judges. So what I think happened, giving the benefit of the doubt, is that Green Tech and Marvel said, we thought this person won, maybe assuming that WMP knew that this is how, if you've never done this format, if we said, you're going to go do the decision, or how, if you just giving the benefit of the doubt, if we phrase it in a way that we say, you're going to go do the decision, like, I think they won, I think they won, but go do the decision. You might think you're being told, go make the decision, which is what, if, again, very clearly, if I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, that might be what happened, where he thought, because he voted in his head, or before they made this, he thought that the girls won. So he went and lifted the hand of who he thought won. And
Imagine
then
their face at the back, like.
and yeah, so basically,
Why didn't they say anything when he lifted the hand up?
Yeah, thank you.
who the judges?
Marvel and Green Tech.
Well, I think it was a bit of a shock situation because again, now that's me giving the benefit to Wayne and Thingy. I think Marvel and Green Tech were a bit like, what has just happened here? Like, which I can completely get. Like, if I was in that situation and I'm like, yeah, these people, and you're so used to things running how they run. Like, if you judge often, which Marvel and Green Tech do all over the world, you're used to just like, it's like, you know, if you're pointing hands and then someone just like punched the DJ, you'd be like, I don't know what just happened. It's like just something so out of the blue that you're like, hold on a minute.
I mean, I wasn't there, but I think I would go over to the DJ and be like, why did you just get punched?
Well, yeah. No. But so what happened is, like, I think at the point that, so they made the decision, and I think there was like, they were started to have a conversation, basically. Like, he sat back down and they started to, like, I think Nick
Say
was
like,
talking to
no, what are you talking about?
But the the host was like, okay, All Stars Battle, we've got to get moving for time. So they like brought us up, and obviously I didn't know what was going on. So we kind of got there. Lewis started playing the music, and I think they were just like, let's do this and we'll sort it out afterwards.
So they made that was an executive decision that someone made to be like, we'll sort it out after.
We'll sort it out. Yeah,
All
exactly.
Stars.
It wasn't just like, we're not doing anything about this, because as soon as it finished, that's when like I said, conversations began.
Regardless, a miscommunication happened, and either way you slice it, it probably wasn't going to result in the best. Like,
No,
if
yeah,
they
what
stopped
can
it
you
and
do?
just
Yeah.
said it straight away, then you would have said it in front of everyone, and that could have come off worse.
I think that's also the thing, because that's the like unfortunate thing about the situation is, and again, not speaking on any private conversations I've had, but if you get announced as, like, I've had it where I've won a battle that not only did I not think I won, but other people in the audience didn't think I won. Like when I battled Silk, and like I've had that quite a few times in the popping scene where people have felt like I shouldn't have won, and it's not a nice feeling for me at all. It really feels horrible. I almost feel like with Silk, like I felt like I should apologize. I was like, I'm sorry that the
bro,
judge
happens,
voted.
bro.
You know
The
what I mean?
judge is
It's like you
subjective,
feel
bro. The
bad,
judge-
but imagine
it's bullshit.
if winning the whole battle and not winning the whole battle. You know what I mean?
That's
It's like
mad.
it must
That's
feel
different
horrible.
though. That's different though. The judges picked you to win. If you
So
find
you would
out that
feel
the
better.
judges, I'll be like, well, it's the judges' decision. They picked me to win. So what are you gonna do? Go suck
Yeah,
an egg.
yeah.
But if the judges didn't vote me to win, but one judge did and I won because they had a miscommunication, I would have been like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're
That's bad.
motherfucking Camilla, you feel. Oh, you're saying you wouldn't feel
that's
bad
not
if
the
you were
same
me.
as- yeah,
I
it's
shouldn't
not the
feel bad.
same. Yeah,
but
you
they
shouldn't
should
feel bad,
Right. But yeah, it's not nice for Lucy and Camilla, because they not only did they celebrate, they like took pictures as with the judges and like with
That's the worst part.
So like he lifted the thing, and then it was like, I think it's Wayne, and then like they took the pictures as like the winners.
what is the lesser of two evils in that situation? Because part of me was like, if I saw them taking pictures, I'd be like, don't take pictures. Don't take pictures.
Like,
We need to
you
talk.
cut. I think this is the hard decision that is really hard to make in the moment, because what's worse is letting them take the pictures and having the conversation privately afterwards, or cutting you,
taking the
taking
pictures. I don't know.
That's
Yeah, I don't know. What's
bad
the
as
lesser
well.
of two
Like,
evils?
both feel
All right,
horrible.
let's do a vote. I would have voted. I vote.
What, like,
if I
as
was
in
that
we're voting
decision-
from the dancer's perspective.
No,
which would you rather
voting
have
from the judge's perspective?
No,
if
but I
you
think-
were the judge.
Yeah, but also you have to think as a dancer. What would you prefer happen
As
to
a
you?
dancer, I
Yeah.
would prefer if they just told me, no, that was a miscommunication.
Immediately, like while you're
Immediately, because
okay.
it's like, okay, cool, it's a miscommunication. It's annoying, but
Yeah,
it's like,
maybe
you
me-
did a miscommunication. If you let me say you
Celebrate,
won,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
in front of everyone at the event going, hey, yeah, we did it. It was such a hard battle. Yeah. And then an
yeah.
hour
The
later, we're like,
pictures
we
is
won.
the
I can't believe, well, yeah, we were sick. You were sick, man. You didn't win. What?
Yeah.
You didn't win.
Although
What?
I also no, because to throw another thing in there is like I don't think it was necessarily the judge's decision in that moment. It might be the organizer that said, let's just deal with it afterwards. But I think what
Yeah, I hear all of that.
Yeah,
No.
but it's the pictures.
no, but what
Like,
another
how do you
thing
get into a picture? You know they're not the winners, and you're like,
another thing to bear in mind that I think it would have gone through my head as well, and I think it probably went through their heads, is do we in that moment, it kind of makes sense in hindsight to say it like this, but in the moment I imagine thinking this, do we actually reverse the decision, or because we've announced that they won, do we
You just
let that rock?
Yeah.
Like you technically, you got announced as the winner of the battle, you're the winner, and then it's probably like, okay, well maybe we go with Wayne's decision.
But they didn't do that. So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
like, I'm getting like,
no, but they were probably
regardless.
considering that, like maybe we just leave it, and then after we go, no, we can't leave it. We have to.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Regardless, the situation is this is what they decided to do. So if the choice is, if you're a judge, you're a judge, I'm a judge, and that happens, or you say to someone, go up and say that they won, and they vote the other person. Are you allowing them to take pictures, allowing for another event to run, and then telling them afterwards that they didn't win, or are you stopping it immediately and saying, sorry, that's a miscommunication, you didn't win, in front of everyone?
You asked me to vote.
Yeah.
As a judge, potentially, I think as a judge, I can imagine it happening exactly how it happened. Like just being like.
What would you do as a judge?
As a judge, I think I would maybe do the thing of talking to them after, only because of the question of we might just have to let this rock. Like
it's fine. I'm not saying there's no right answer,
because the only if we were for sure gonna reverse it, and say no, you didn't win, then I would actually what I would have done is like, I would have. Oh, fuck.
Just pick a fucking answer.
No, wait. I would have wanted to know whether we were leaving this, or I would have been like, let's not continue the thing until we know.
Stop.
Yeah.
You are going to reverse it. You know you're going to reverse it. What's the decision you do?
Yeah, probably in the moment.
Okay.
But I would have caught it before the pictures.
Yeah.
I would have, as soon as he lifted it, I would have said, whoa. And then I would have spoke to him and be like, why did you just...
Okay.
Like,
what would you do?
I think, but also to say, I would have triply done that if I was the event organizer.
Yeah.
I think the organizer is...
It's on them to be
is the one to go, whoa, not like there was a miscommunication between the judges. It's not any one judge's responsibility, I think.
I'm not saying there was clearly miscommunication. It's not their fault. But I would, even if the organizer was like, no, it's too late, I would have been like, no, bro, I'm not continuing until you sort this out. This is big. What would you do?
In my opinion, the fault is about is the judge fault there.
That lift the hands.
Yeah.
First of all. And second, as soon as I discovered it actually wasn't, I will stop it like...
Straight away.
You wouldn't wait until afterwards?
No, really not. Even because the people that they lost, they should know that they won.
Yeah.
Even because I think that the people that they lost, they are in the worst situation.
Yeah.
In the worst feeling.
Yeah.
And knowing that at the end of the event, when everyone like took their prize and the real winners, they didn't. And nobody announced it, it's like so bad.
Yeah.
People, they will complain forever. Like I won the event and they didn't even announce it. I think it's happened to my crew as well in the World Battle.
Oh shit!
Like because the judging system was voting in reverse. So something happened and they were like kind of losing or something like that, and it was not making sense.
Okay.
And they didn't want to announce it because Tom went to the organizer. He went to the organizer and he said kind of okay. What's going on, and they didn't want to announce it. Like this is even worse.
They just wanted to do it quietly.
Yeah. Because otherwise, like, was the whole competition going wrong?
Yeah. What would you do?
Something like that.
You mean in my head, or
if you were the judge in the situation?
No, you don't have to do it in real life. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
What? If I had to speak in front of people, she just leaves, like runs through the door now.
Pull the Jenga out.
I'd be like, well, they won.
That's the bit. It's like they lift her hand. It's not who she voted for, and she's like, "Well, maybe they were better. maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe I shouldn't judge."
In a competition in I think it was in Dublin.
Yeah.
Dublin.
They did this rising hand, and the judges at some point they were saying, "But no, she didn't won," and then they say, "Oh, whatever," like this, and they say, "Come on." Like someone like prepare. I mean, at least for b-boys. That yesterday I was shocked that poppers they don't train, and I was shocked. At least like b-boys or biggers, they prepare themselves even 1 year. You know.
Yeah.
1 year of time of preparation for a competition, and then like you say, oh whatever, it's fine.
But what happened in the Dublin one? Did the judges go, no, they didn't win, and they told everyone, or did they just go?
The judges they were talking like between each other, and just because it was a kids event, they were like,
whatever.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, what? It's not whatever.
That's not your place, to decide. Okay, cool. So we're all under the understanding that we would have chosen that evil of stopping it and saying.
Yeah, either way it's bad.
Either way it's bad, but bruv.
Yeah.
the least amount of evil in my mind, logically, is either immediately stop it, or
let it
Camilla
rock.
and Motherfunk one. Yeah.
Well, but what makes you feel worse is like
no one
reversing
knows.
it, or
But if
they get the money.
But if your girl cheats on you and you don't know, do you feel bad?
Yeah, I guess that's the question. I think is more than because I 100% like, and maybe it's different being there, but literally watching the events happen, I completely get why it was allowed to rock until after the event. Like, it makes the most sense to me because it was a whole moment of like, this is the thing, and then it was like as it sunk in through the crew battles and stuff, it was like, and then there was when people were having those conversations, it was like, what should we do? And I think they reached the decision of let's reverse it. So I think I get that part. What I think,
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, I think the question is whether you leave it and say, well, we did announce this, we let them celebrate, we told them they won. All right, I guess they won. And then give them the money. Or do we say, no, the money has to go to the people who rightfully won? That's the like...
I think you let it rock, and then in like 6 months' time, when they've battled like in 5 different other jams, you just go halfway through a jam.
Oh, by the way...
You know you won that battle.
Or even worse, when you're battling...
Oh, by the way, you actually won, but don't worry about it.
No, it's like if you're battling the girls, it's be like, oh, you know you really lost when I said. That would be the most. You're like, wait, in the middle of your round.
Wait, well, no, he's chatting shit. He's chatting shit, and then they look over, and Miles like,
nice, he's right.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
fuck, man, that fucking
quite the shit show.
What the fuck, bro? That's anarchy.
Yeah.
That. And it's not funny for those 4 involved and the judges, but for me personally,
hilarious.
I wish I was there now. That almost makes the event worth it. No, I'm joking. It doesn't make the event worth it.
No, because the thing is, it's like it's a very, very weird thing to happen. I don't think I've ever seen something like that happen.
Right, hold on. All right, can I just say, out of all of the laughing and all of that, because it's wild, bruv. You got to have a laugh.
I broke my TV.
You broke your TV. You did break your TV.
It makes me so
You
sad.
broke your TV.
I can't even watch TV after this.
No one died, so we can have a laugh about it. But I do acknowledge that for all parties involved,
It's horrible.
that's fucking horrible.
Because let's delve into that for a second. Let's go through all parties involved and their experience of this. Now,
who had it the worst?
all right, let's say this. Let me go through my perspective of every person.
Yeah. Sorry,
and then you guys tell me we can do the vote on who you think has it the worst in this situation.
Yeah.
So, you're the event organizer. This pod happens. And this happened at your event. Yeah. That's gotta feel horrendous. Yeah. I would be making public statements after public statements about this. Like, I would be putting something out on Instagram saying
Damage control.
Yeah. You've got to address this. I think you've got to address it. You've got to say, I'm sorry this happened. Like, blah, blah. Explain, yeah. And all that to say, if people had, if whether or not this should have been handled privately or not, it's like it was a very public thing that happened to these people. So it's like, you got to deal with it publicly, I think, unless, like you said, you were going to let it rock and just, they won and that's it. Everyone shut the fuck up and don't tell anyone that you didn't vote for them. Just let them. If that's the case, keep everything private.
And they must never find out. Because
if you're going to reverse
if
this...
I did then find out, I'd be like, why the fuck didn't you tell me?
Yeah. You would be, in theory, asking your friend who has a podcast to talk about it. Which didn't happen, but could have in theory. So that's the event organizer. That's a horrible experience.
Pretty rough.
You are, let's say you're Marvel and or Green Tech.
Yeah.
You make a decision.
Yeah.
The decision is some baffling reason it didn't go the way that you asked. And now not only are you involved and embroiled in this tangled mess of a shit show, you have to then sort it out. And maybe less green tech because he doesn't know people as well. But it's like with Nick, it's like these are his friends. All four of them are his friends.
The fucking Trivian system doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't do this.
Doesn't sort for this. What do I do, Renegade?
But it's like, yeah, it's like you're having to talk to these people and sort this thing out that you didn't do anything wrong about, and you obviously have to make your friends unhappy.
I want to
All four
ask
of them
him what
at
he
once.
would do, actually. But yeah, carry on. No, Renegade.
Oh. Oh yeah, and I feel like Renegade was gonna hate this situation. He's like, this would never happen if I was involved. Yeah, so that's Nick and Green Tech. If you're WMP, and let's say that it's an honest mistake, you know, which I hopefully I imagine it is. It's like you misunderstand something and you do the wrong thing, and now this is all like happening because you made a mistake. It's like that's got to feel pretty horrible. Again, another person who I would be like maybe addressing it publicly if that was me. That's got to feel horrible. If you're Harry in Paris, you won, but you first of all didn't get like celebrated in the moment when you're supposed to get celebrated for winning after doing all that hard work. And not only that, in order for you to rightfully get what you earned and you worked your asses
You
off
have
and
to strip away someone else's joy.
you have to take away someone else's joy, and not only someone else's joy, two of your friends' joy. That sucks. That fucking sucks, and it's gonna tar your win. Like you're not gonna feel great about your win as you could have.
Did you drop them home afterwards?
Camilla came back with me.
Did Motherfunk or no?
No, if she, I mean,
What was the car journey like?
no, but Camilla is a very logical person. So she's very like we had I won't say what we talked about. We she's very logical.
I'd imagine she'd
in
be
the way
like,
she
well, we
reasons
lost, but
stuff.
yeah.
Like obviously doesn't
It sucks,
feel, yes,
but I understand how
general gist of how she felt. Lucia's can be more on the emotional sides at the best of times.
Okay.
So I don't know what her reaction was, but I can't imagine she's fucking happy. So, but and then imagine you're and from their experience, Camilla and Motherfunk, you win against two really good people, and then first time ever dancing together, and then you get told afterwards,
And they've been training hard,
and
bruv.
and they dance really fucking well to get there.
Yeah.
And then you have this whole shit happen to you and you have to like give it up or whatever. So I would be angry if I was any of those four dancers. And then imagine you're me, you know, just with like so much content. With just so much
Vlad
to talk
TV.
about. Yeah.
Fucking Vlad over here.
God, I think I've got it the hardest.
What did that make you feel like when they did that?
Yeah.
To be fair, right.
It's a really sucky.
Silver lining,
Yeah, go on.
this could have been a huge event.
Yeah, I think if this was something
You
like,
could have paid money to travel out of the UK.
yeah, imagine if this was on the level of like BC1 or something. This would have been a fucking like nightmare. I mean, it already is a nightmare, but it's like, at least, you know, the whole thing about what we were talking about, like about the moment of like celebrating and then kind of having that moment like undercut by, that moment was witnessed by about like 30 people.
Yeah, cool.
So it's like, it feels horrible, but it was like at the end of the day, a lot of people had left. It wasn't the worst thing. There's actually no videos of it. Like, you know, imagine like the videos came out and they said you were a winner, you know. But yeah, it's weird from every perspective, and it's just like, so like this, like we have so many events and they all run the exact same way. That it's like, it's so weird when something like this goes like that.
That's the
wrong.
first time I've ever heard of that happening.
Yeah.
At an event. Ever. And I've been dancing for a very long time.
Yeah.
How long?
Since I was 17. So
That's same as me.
2017.
no,
No,
since
when
I
he
was
was
17.
And how old are you?
30. 20. No, 13.
13 years, yeah.
Don't make me do maths live, man. You make me look stupid.
Just sweating.
It's just to
Give
make
context.
the podcast longer.
Oh, thank you.
Just a question.
And tell me more about your parents.
Tell me more about what does 13 mean to you?
But yeah, anyway, so just a fucking, like, that specific part of it was a shit show. And to be honest, it's like, yeah,
That's one too many.
Oh.
That's one too many.
Take one.
That's one too many. We're not dropping her off at London Bridge. You fucking get out and have
Just
a
drive
little
her further out of London.
Run.
Drop her off at Essex. There you go.
Run in the meantime that you watch the Chatishiti room.
That's two. Okay.
Anyway,
2 times over.
so I mean, it's shit, and I think I don't know whether it would have helped if the event was a bit tighter.
This event sounds like a South Park episode.
But it was quite an eventful.
It sounds like
It's really like the Chronicles of
Rick and Morty or some shit. What the fuck happened?
But okay, let's finish on a good note.
Okay.
This is what I will say.
Yeah.
No, but apart of all these things, I think that the only very weird, dangerous thing is that
Definitely not talking
like dancing with no shoes.
Well, it didn't happen in the end, but
Wait, what?
it was gonna be that you had to take off your shoes at the second day
That is
because it's a
fine,
yoga
come on.
studio.
Oh, so they're like, we
but
don't
that
want.
was like when they first got there, but then they kind of put a floor down so that we didn't have to.
Okay.
But no, to finish on a good note,
South Park, man.
it's very weird because I had a shit weekend and a very, very good weekend in the same weekend. Like it's very strange because I went up there. Obviously, it was like with Harry and the girls and everyone.
Lewis.
And the girls.
That needs to be one of the things.
What?
The buttons, yeah. Yeah, go on.
It's almost midnight, okay? Had a long day.
Yeah.
I just want to go home.
I love who you're turning into. This is you. You're growing wonderfully as a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I'm not on the camera.
Oh, you have more
So you can
confidence.
say what you
Having,
do.
yeah,
Where's
just
my
like
gun?
I
You
can
can do that
like-
shit when you're on the camera as well, man.
Yeah. What do you think? Stop it.
Nothing. I'm just showing you.
Smoking.
Didn't work.
No, just to finish on that good note, I had a great time because I was with a lot of good people. And oh shit, I don't like it.
It's fine. It's gone.
Just don't hit me in the face. That's the only thing I ask of you in this life. Spare me a shot in the face. I was with good people. We actually had a good time, and to be honest with you, like we hung out on the Saturday night. It was with Lewis, and like I got to see a lot of my close friends do amazing. Like Lewis killed it with the DJing. Like
Apart from the 1 BPM bit.
Yeah. Seeing you in the break-in, seeing like the girls and Harry and Paris do well in the
I
pop-in.
did absolutely bad. I don't know what you saw.
No, but it's just nice to see you guys like doing your thing, and like Slayer like won the 7 to Smoke and really like did well. He's coming along really well.
Slayer.
So it's like there was a lot of good moments. So I'm like
Mr. Worldwide.
externally of what's happening in the event. Like I love seeing like people do well and stuff, and hanging out with my friends. And also I said it's a kind of weird thing where I'm like all the stuff that was like bad that happened, right? Even me, like I was really tired and just not having the greatest time. I had to drive like 3.5 hours and then 4.5 hours back. So it was just a long weekend overall. But I was like, as kind of mushy as this sounds, like I'm glad that those things that happened didn't happen to any one of us while we were by ourselves. Like imagine if Camilla and Lucia, that happened to them,
Yeah,
but they were in another
international,
event,
yeah,
with none of us around. Like at least that happened to them, and they were with like Motherfunk went home with Martina, like Camilla came home
You
with
can
me
all
and
talk
Solid.
about
Like
it,
we were all there for each other's thing. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that all of us were there to like to keep each other going, because actually like even through all these moments where it was like there was like long breaks and we were bored, and it's like Harry went and had a nap behind a sign, and like he's literally like slept for like an hour, but like we were like laughing at him and stuff
Mate,
when he
fucking
woke
great
up.
sleep. That was the best sleep I've ever had in my life.
That's legit. He was like, I actually feel great.
I know you guys, bro.
We know Harry
Of
very
course,
well.
I know Harry.
But yeah, it's just like all these moments that like in on paper weren't good, but like we enjoyed them and we picked each other up and stuff. So
The people make.
The
And-
collaboration, popping collaboration.
exactly. And we did some videos and we did some cool shit. And I think it reminded me of like kind of what I love about the scene, or I don't want to say the culture because it's a bit like of a cliche word, but like this whole thing of like having friends. And it's like, that's what I'm like, when I felt like I enjoyed that stuff. So I was like, how can I have had such a good weekend when I have a list of things that I didn't enjoy? Like, how can I still have had a good weekend? And I'm like, because as again, this is like super mushy, but it's like, I realized that's not why I do that. I don't go for the competitions or for the wins. I go for those moments with friends and in between. And
You're a little mushy.
no, but it's like, that's what I always like. That's what I think, you know, there are moments where you go to compete and stuff, but in general, that's what I do this stuff for, is for those in between moments and those conversations. And like the long conversations that we have over dinner and stuff like that is what started the podcast. It's like, I was like, oh, how could we capture that shit about us just sitting and talking?
I'm listening. Put the cunt down.
Let me have my mushy moment.
No, mush.
Friendly fire. Yeah, so I think it's important to always take your friends to bad events. No, but yeah, that's it. I'll stop being mushy because Abe's been a prick. Abe's been a fucking prick.
Oh no, I hear you, and I'm just doing this for comedic effect. I think the dance scene is fucking wonderful, and I've made a lot of good friends. And I can imagine when I looked at the event on people's stories, I was like, that looks like a lot of fun because there's a lot of people there that I'd enjoy hanging out with. Please don't shoot me.
I won't.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
Yeah, nice
Like
weekend.
you talking about it like that because like it looks sick from the stories and like the people were like, oh my god, the battles were so great. So
There were some good, like that semi-final with Taiwo and Slayer against Harry in Paris.
Yeah.
Absolutely fire. Like so fucking good. Like
Is that up on YouTube?
I don't think so. I don't seen any of them popping up. But like from like a long day where everyone was like super tired and stuff, and a lot of the people in there weren't poppers. Like everyone was like gassed and like shouting and jumping, and like it was for that battle. It was like they really like got people involved.
And the organizer was watching that battle and he was going, this event's gonna be sick.
Yeah, he's like, we're almost
2 minutes later. Win! No.
It's just, imagine him just sitting there, just like it's the popping finals, and then after that is all stars or like popping semis. It's like not long left to the event. Everything went well so far. What could go wrong now? Little did he know. Yeah. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. But you know, listen. This is the thing. This is the thing. Shit goes wrong. This is the moral of the fucking story.
I thought you were gonna shoot the camera. I was
No.
like, it's not a good idea.
I might as well fucking break my camera. Everything else in my life is broken right now. My whole day has been fucked, guys. You're lucky I'm in, like, these guys have made this a very cheerful pod. I was gonna be angry. But a really bad day. Shit goes wrong. The moral of the story is prepare as much as you can so that shit doesn't go wrong. If shit goes wrong because you haven't prepared for shit to not go wrong, that's an issue. And if shit does go wrong, take the best course of action to fix it afterwards and to address it and to take responsibility. That's my main shit. Don't. And this is not just with events, but not just with this event, but with all events and stuff. It's like, do your homework before, take your fucking job seriously, everyone who runs events. Yeah. And if you're going to put on an event, do it to the best of your ability in the same way that a DJ can't just show up and fucking like push shuffle on iTunes. You can't just show up and put shuffle on fucking whatever you're doing with as an event organizer. If shit goes wrong, then you have to speak to the people involved, take responsibility. This is my event. I will go and speak to the girls who this, or this is my event. I will apologize for things running late. This is my event. You know what I mean? Like take the responsibility and address it and work on it to do better next time. This is the moral of the story.
Beautiful.
Should I put the
public
American national?
Yeah, put the American national.
And like a flag comes out like.
When shit goes wrong, when you do an event, you've got to be the one that goes out there. If you're the organizer,
this is like the speech that they give in Top Gun before they get in the fighter pilots.
Listen, guys.
In the fight,
if you want to put a dance on in the scene, all right, a dance on in the scene, an event on in the scene. When shit goes wrong, make sure it's not the biggest shit. All right, this is the shit you need to care about. Okay.
What's your the biggest fair?
This is their impression of Coach Carter.
Push-ups, push-ups. Are you
Guys.
testing the floor? You're a B-boy.
Guys, I think the pod's done. My TV's broken.
That was like one of those Jenny moments.
Bye, guys.